Be found on our website. It's time for the 259 Show, a weekly podcast that can be found on our website at www.the259show.com or on Facebook and Twitter at the 259 Show. Today's hosts are Joe Peachy.
No, I haven't contacted Michelle because she'd be on the next flight to New York City. So.
Mike Vincelli.
Chelsea's not a girl. This is the name of a soccer club.
Thank you, Chelsea. Broke my heart.
Tyler Diedrich.
I wonder if they have waffles. Ha ha ha. They do.
And Andy Fowler.
Out of all of us here, I feel like I'm balding the most. I got a big spot up on top. And by growing it out, I feel like I'm trying to cover it.
Here's your host, Andy Fowler.
Welcome to episode number 46 of the 259 Show, the November 4th, 2017 edition. I'm your host, Andy Fowler. Mike Vincelli, Tyler Diedrich, and Joe Peachy joining us live from the 259 studios.
Live!
In southeastern Hilton, New York. Got a big program ahead of us this week, guys. It's
We do have a big
Michael's
program.
very
Looking at the
puzzled.
rundown, this thing is meaty with material.
Mike, what's wrong?
I don't know. Everyone's voices was coming sideways.
Sideways.
I don't know. It was weird.
Sideways.
We're all
Well,
good now.
doesn't that make sense? If the headphones are on your ears, Mike, wouldn't they be coming in sideways into your ears?
Joseph, you are just so intelligent.
We are
bright.
we are running 8 minutes late, which in the show business world is unacceptable. Mike,
As you would know.
what was Joe doing? What was Joe doing that caused us to be late?
He was lathering himself up with soap in the shower.
Look, I have a lot of responsibilities in the morning,
Oh,
Tyler.
yeah.
I don't know what you have, but I have a dog to walk. I've
He'll
gotta
walk
make
his
sure
dog,
he's
pet
got
his
medicine,
dog,
he's got his
feed his
food.
dog,
Groom his dog.
Pet the neighbor's dog.
kiss the
And-
dog,
and
get the
I
dog some
wanna
attention.
I want to make it a usual thing every morning when I show up to a live show, wearing what I wore, just for you guys, just for you, your three eyes only.
You're live in your
birthday
bath
suit?
towel.
My birthdays, too.
Joe is dressed for radio.
Can we also talk about what Tyler's wearing real quick? Is that a Zubaz pullover hoodie? Or
It's a
what do we
Zubaz
got?
hoodie,
Oh boy,
or as they called it in the '90s, a hooded sweatshirt.
a hooded sweatshirt.
Joe, you saw a lot of Zubaz this past week, right? Down in New York City? Maybe abnormal amount of Zubaz?
I saw a lot of Bill's Zubaz on Thursday night, which was a good sight.
You guys
but-
probably saw more Zubaz last Sunday.
Are Zubaz worn by Bills fans more than any other fans?
I mean, I can't attest to what other fans in other cities wear as much. Well, I mean, the Jets and Giants, but I will say Zubaz has done a great job of like making a bunch of material with their clothing, right? So I've got like a Zubaz hat, I've got like a Zubaz hoodie, kind of like Tyler. I've got the pants. I
They
love
haven't
it.
let
It's
that
great.
extra fabric go to waste.
Never.
Anywho, as Mike said, we do have a meaty rundown today.
I
Yeah,
didn't
this
say
is
that.
the 259 Show live. This is what, our third or fourth episode?
I think it's only our
ever
third.
live,
Yeah.
going live.
Oh, you've already 3? Wow.
I think so.
Not bad.
I thought we only went
out of
we only
Four.
went two live.
Carnival.
Carnival. right?
Parade.
Oh,
Yeah, some of us were there.
That wasn't live on a Saturday, though.
Correct.
You can reach us if you're listening to us currently live. You can go through our Spreaker database and you can communicate with us on our message board, and we'll keep those messages coming throughout
They're
the
already
program.
flowing.
That or on Facebook, you can Facebook message us as well and chime in on any of our conversation today. We are found, we're a weekly podcast. Every Saturday morning we come to you on our website, the259show.com, Facebook and Twitter at the259show, and you can also ask Alexa, play the 259 Show. Heard villageradio.net Saturday night, Sunday mornings as well. We like to thank our radio and television syndication. No, we haven't gotten
Wait, we got TV
syndicated yet. We're not
syndication?
syndicated yet. No. Someday soon. But how's morale around the table today, guys?
Well, Drew, we are a sad bunch of losers. As we found out just about, minutes after we recorded our last show.
Yep. And we didn't post anything like we said we would.
Nope. We lost. We are not Rochester's favorite podcast.
I like to tell myself we're second.
But we don't know.
We don't know. Bless you. Gesundheit.
Sorry.
But I do. I think that should be our slogan.
Because
of
we
the
got
show.
we did get invited to the thing, but I don't.
I'm
know
sure
what
that was
means.
just like a consolation to have everyone there,
There's the participation trophy.
right? Because we are millennials.
I'm glad we didn't go.
Me too. That
Who
was
won?
embarrassing.
Food About Town.
Food About Town. And we went on their website. They have some. They always have guests.
Like
They-
real
real people that matter. They also have. They have a nice website. Actually, our website's pretty nice. Sorry.
When it gets up
Sorry,
to
sorry, tech department.
No, they have an actual website.
kind of they've got a small market, though. They talk about food. Oh, wait a second. That's all we do, is talking about food.
But we don't market ourselves as a food.
No.
And we completely cut ourselves off from the east side, too.
We have no brand.
We don't get over there. We can't. It's not our fault that the east side's so far away
But
from
we
Hilton.
know where the bar is set now. Also, we probably didn't vote correctly since we probably voted for ourselves as
Only
yeah.
Doug Enledge, 259
Yeah, apparently
show.
you have to vote from it. You have to do at least 30 categories for your vote to count. So if you went in there and just voted for the 259 show only, your vote probably didn't count, unfortunately. So we'll learn. Well, you live and you learn.
So,
But we can tout ourselves as a finalist.
Yeah, I mean, I
So if
think,
that's
I think
good
the
enough
fact
for
that
you-
we were on there was pretty good. I mean, we were a top 4, top 5.
Top five. We don't know where.
Yeah, they should have given out the entire rankings, right? But they
That
didn't
would've
want to
been
hurt
cool.
people's
You know, just-
feelings.
Just four young boys from Hilton, New York, making the ranks.
Who would have thought
I don't-
four
I
young
don't-
boys could
who would've
start a
thunk it, Mike?
podcast?
I don't know if they invited every single finalist for every category, though, so I'm not sure. If we did get invited, maybe there's a chance we were second. I don't know. I have no idea. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because we're losers either way.
Tyler, we need a documentary
Maybe.
about this. We need a Tyler Diedrich Productions documentary.
The
of
year
the
they almost
259
won.
show boys.
How about
What
the
if
Mapples, the
what if
story
we go
of the
the next
259
4
show?
years of
The best that
What if we
never.
go the next,
The
for the
illustrated
next 4
history.
years of constantly getting
259
second
show.
place?
What if I told you?
What if I told you? Hey, that ties into our power ranking a little bit today.
It does. Quick rundown of the program. Huge. This is probably the meatiest rundown we've had of all shows that
Yes.
we've done. All 46 episodes of the 259 show. Where do we start? Halloween was last week, so we'll recap Halloween and how us homeowners handed out candy.
And we'll recap our Halloween candy draft, which hit it big on the Facebook.
We'll do that. A lot of NFL news this week with the trade deadline and 2 very disappointing Thursday night footballs since the last time we since we talked last. Tyler has an I-Team investigation report. Have absolutely no idea what that will sound
That
like.
is a hard-hitting I-Team investigation coming your way.
Was it on one member, all members, couple members?
It's most likely on me.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I was-
We'll see.
that's what I was trying to get at.
I'm anticipating for Tyler.
I was
to
waiting
do
for a
something
few FOIL requests to get back about some things that Joe has done in the past, and those did come back.
Great.
We have a local...
Some things Joe may or may not have done as a teacher.
This past week, Section 5 athletic championships kind of wrapped up around the area. We're going to dive into a little high school sports talk with a hot debate, private school versus public school, as it touched close to home for one of our local athletic
And
programs.
a question that was raised that I would like to hear what you have to think. Which local high school has the biggest cult following?
I think I have an answer for you, and I think we'll all agree.
Okay.
Because once you are one, you're always one. A lot of food talk to get to. A new restaurant moving into town. We went tailgating this past week.
There's a lot of food
New
talk,
Era
we'll put it
Field.
that way.
A lot of food talk.
Lots
some
to talk
TV
about.
talk. Christmas talk is back on the run.
Hey!
Because 'tis the season. Last Man Standing. 2 of the 3 have already been eliminated in Last Man Standing. We'll dive into that.
But we're not done yet, though.
But we're not done
No,
yet.
wait.
Unpopular opinions airtime, and we wrap things up on this live.
And there's a
edition
lot of
of
air to be
259
had in airtime today, according to the rundown.
Yes, lots of air. Air is no short supply here in the 259 studio today.
Lots of air.
Air supply.
But let's start right where...
Ooh, it's Thanksgiving time.
Oh, that's how we'll intro the show when we get to Thanksgiving this year.
Let's start
play that.
right where we left off last week with some Halloween talk. Halloween candy draft results. Tyler, do you have the results?
Well, do you want to recap what everyone picked real quick?
Do you have that in
just
front
go
of
with
you?
I don't.
everyone's
I don't have it.
Okay.
But
Well-
if you're interested, go to our 259 Show Facebook page, and there is
Yeah.
a graphic there.
You want me to pull
You
it
could
up?
go back and listen. Sure, Mike. I mean, you could go back and listen, or you could just go to our post from, what was it, Monday? And there was a nice graphic of what we all picked that was constructed by me using the art supplies that I learned in paint.
Quick shout out to Jeff Diedrich. He has been our first our first messenger
Ooh.
on the Facebook page, and he will.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah, he will.
Dad.
We'll get there when we talk about NFL. What he says.
So, long story short, we thank you for your feedback on our Halloween candy draft. That was an overwhelming
We like
amount
that.
of
That was,
It
feedback.
was great.
that was the most hits we've ever got.
Comments after comments, man.
We were the talk of the Channel 13 newsroom. It sounded like,
Yeah.
which is now their studio for the time being. we were the top story on Channel 13. Our candy draft.
Wait, I'm not following. What happened? here?
Channel 13. We are currently doing the newscast from the newsroom because the studio is being worked on right now.
Oh,
So yeah,
boy.
so, if you turn it on. So apparently you haven't watched the news all week.
No.
Anywho, the people have spoken when it comes to the Halloween candy draft, and it seemed like the majority agreed with Tyler,
Do you want me to recap the list?
the people's champ. Go ahead.
All right, Joseph.
Joseph with his number
Yes?
one pick. He had Snickers with M&Ms, peanut
No, I
M&Ms,
had-
regular
wait, not the number one
M&Ms, Almond Joy, and Junior Mints. Drewman, Kit Kat, Skittles, Airheads, Take 5, and Nerds.
I had cookies and cream Hershey bar, Twix, regular milk chocolate Hershey bar, fruity flavored Tootsie Rolls, and Heath bar. And Daddy Tyler had Reese's Cups, Butterfinger, Crunch Bar, Payday, and Mr. Good Bar. And the overwhelming majority sided with Tyler,
The people's champ.
the people's champ. I don't think a lot of our listeners understood the concept of a draft. Did you get that feeling?
There were a few people.
There were comments like,
Yeah, they're like, how could
Yeah, like,
"How did everybody pick the Reese cup?"
how could you not pick Reese's as your pick, man?
I think there were a few people, but I think the majority understood what the draft meant.
You got what was going on here.
But
What's happening? We should have added some little arrows to
over-
represent the snake.
the overwhelming majority also hated Drew's fruity list.
Yeah, our listeners hate fruity.
I would like to go on record here, Tyler. You got a handful. Both of you got handfuls of my leftover Halloween candy. Both piles do have fruit flavored
I will
candy.
tell you
They're
this.
overwhelmingly chocolate.
I will tell you this: fruity candies are better in the morning.
Yes.
It is 9 a.m. when we started feasting on the candy.
And
it's
candy in the
12:45
morning is the
a.m.
best time to candy.
I'll explain what we got here. We got piles of leftover Halloween candy here in Drew's basement.
You mean the 259 show studio?
I took two of the big Lifesaver gummies because I was thinking that they were the little packs of multiple gummies, but they're just one big gummy. And Mike was dismayed, as was I.
Yes.
It was just one big gummy in there. But the overwhelming majority of what I grabbed is
Don't mock the big
Crunch,
gummy until you
Crunch
try it.
Bar, Milky Way, Butterfinger, Twix, and even a Three Musketeers bar.
Don't mock the big gummy until you try it, Tyler.
I mean, sure, it's going to be good, but it's just not going to be as satisfying as several gummies.
I like putting them on my fingers.
So anyway, there were as we
Getting
got
back to the draft, so
as we got later
it's
into the
like-
night, there were a few people who agreed with Drew.
I think for the most part, a lot of people thought Tyler's was the best. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to take second place because most of the comments are Tyler first, Joe second until he picked Almond Joy.
Did you get any bests though, Joe?
A lot of people said Joe's was second best, but there was like
But some people said
yeah.
mine was the best,
including Amanda Diedrich.
Mrs. Diedrich.
But I do want to just point out Sean Carroll. Am I saying that correctly?
Sean Carroll.
He went in on his analysis, man.
In depth.
He had some pretty interesting things to say. Disappointment before praise. A little,
You really laid into it, Truman.
I also
He went hard.
tough
in the
love.
paint on
I also think the biggest takeaway from this whole draft process is I'm Sean Carroll's favorite personality on this show. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with a bad draft if I'm his favorite.
Would he say, "Win me back"?
Win me back, Fowler. Win me back. He still has an open invite on being a guest here. We have an
I
open
believe
microphone.
the
down
quote
there.
is horrible roster construction, very fruity, very Billsy draft.
Gotta trust
Which
the
is
process.
pretty accurate.
Trust the process, Sean.
He's just going for role players, Sean. All right, next man up on his candy.
Is it
list.
fair to say to give Sean Listener of the Week award for his contribution to our post?
If we had an award that
We could start one right now.
we could. Sean Carroll.
Listener
Sean
of
Carroll,
the week.
Listener of the Week. Congrats.
So that was the Halloween candy draft. As for Halloween itself, I don't know about you guys, but I had to leave around 6:45 on Halloween night to go watch the Hilton soccer game, which we'll get to later. Cover the Hilton soccer game. By the time I left, we had only had 2 trick-or-treaters at my house.
What time did they start trick-or-treating down in the north part of the village?
Who knows? We had 2 trick-or-treaters show up sometime before 6:30. So,
I think it's all started around
There's about
6:30.
6 around
and
the clock.
apparently after I left, we still only had a total of about 20 trick-or-treaters, which is way down from last year, which was way down from what we expected. It was our first year there last year. We only had 50 last year. I thought it was going to be way more than that. This year we only had 20.
Up here in the southeastern quadrant of the village, we had 125 trick-or-treaters.
I mean, down here in the southeastern
That's it.
quadrant.
No, we're up in elevation, so
Did you
that
really
makes
keep
sense.
track?
Altitudes aren't very high up here.
Did you have like a notch system where you would just write a check whenever?
That's why I asked.
I kept a tally right on my candy box. We just have a standard Sam's Club.
So how many did you have?
125 trick-or-treaters. We purchased about 1,000 pieces of candy because I give 2. When I give Halloween candy out, and I'm the old guy, I give 2 pieces. If they say thank you, I double back with a 3rd.
Oh.
So that's.
I see. There were 2 kids who showed up before I left.
Rewarding excellence.
I gave them each 3 pieces. They're like, "Oh, Tyler, you're going to run out of candy." I'm like, "No, I'm not.
And did you?
No."
Tyler,
We got-
Daddy
we
was
got-
right.
We got plenty left. So anywho, how many did you have at your old location in the village of Hilton last year?
Well, I consulted with my former roommate, and she said
Long
she
time
had
room.
about 75 over there. So she says that's up
Numbers?
from last
Oh,
year.
really? I think the thing is, there are no streetlights on my street, at least on my end of the street.
Then it was dang cold.
That's well, Drew. I want to say it's interesting that you had like 125 because my parents they don't get a lot of kids in their section of that neighborhood. I think the kids mostly, for the most part, stay on like Raintree, Hillside, kind of near you,
Yeah.
and they don't really venture down to Archer.
We sat in the top of our driveway for 2.5 hours handing out candy because I don't know if you've navigated the stairs out in front of the studio here. They're kind of uneven, and I don't want kids walking up and down the stairs.
Broken ankles.
You should have made them all icy, Drew.
So we sat on the top of the driveway handing out candy. We noticed there were people who skipped our house. I don't understand the patterns that kids go. There was some back and forth across the street, a lot of street crossing. Well, we saw them come down our neighbor's driveway, go across, and then up our other neighbor's driveway. I don't get it.
I don't
Isn't
know.
the point of trick-or-treating hit all the houses? And we had one repeat offender. He came back 3 times.
Maybe the
He
kids
liked what you're handing out.
They didn't like
Did
fruity
you call
candy.
him out on it?
He came out in his Ogden Bears jersey. I'm like,
Aw,
that stands out.
dude.
Number 87, that sticks out, buddy. Like,
You called him out?
I think a lot of the kids just don't like the fruity candy right now, which is surprising because I would think that kids are more that way.
Or
well,
fruity?
Yeah.
Soft.
as you pointed out, there's a lot of
You
chocolate.
got a stigma, Drew, on your house.
But anywho, I noticed a lot of kids just coming up and not saying trick or treat. That angered me.
Yeah, I heard that.
They just came up and they looked at you.
Hey, give me the candy.
Give me the
Okay,
stuff,
I'll
huh?
do it, like,
This isn't a handout. You got to work for it.
Well, your
all right?
setup is a little different because you're not inviting kids to knock and yell trick or treat.
and then they came.
That's true. You probably threw them off by waiting. in
I
your
mean, there's a
garage.
rhythm when you're trick or treating.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good point because
Kinda got
like,
this-
if you make eye contact with a kid and he's like at the base of your driveway,
Yeah,
he's not going to say trick or treat like and walk like 25 feet.
And then
you
you
know what
got
I mean?
the
So
smart.
you're not setting them up for the best success, Drew.
You got the smart kids that come out. Happy Valentine's Day. Like, no, get your holidays right.
Ah, just being funny.
You're not funny.
Come on.
Not funny.
Come on, Drummond.
So, Halloween is over, and we are on to Movember.
Ooh.
But before we get there,
GI talk?
best costumes you guys saw, or the most of them. I had about 5 Batmans.
I mean,
Batman
I
was
had a couple Spider-Man show up to my place. I'm always a big Spider-Man fan. It was a little chilly, so a lot of kids had like coats on over there.
There was a father that was on the sidewalk as his kids came up and down. He was wearing gray sweatpants, a blue Giants hoodie, and he had a mustache. I'm like, is he going as Ben McAdoo, or is he just a Giants fan? And that got me thinking, what's the best NFL coach costume? Is it Andy Reid?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say Andy Reid.
Belichick's equally as easy, though, with the cutoff hoodie.
But Andy Reid's funnier.
True. But you can talk like Belichick. That's funny.
I actually
Just
watched
be angry.
the Around the Horn episode on Halloween, and what was it, John Isola or whatever? Out of-
Frank Isola?
Frank Isola, yeah.
Your dad's buddy.
My dad's buddy. Yeah, sorry, I got his name wrong too. He was dressed up as Ben McAdoo. It was pretty funny because he had like
The
he's
play
hiding behind
sheet.
there,
Thing
yeah,
is,
hiding behind
neighborhoods
the
like
play
this, you
sheet.
don't want to be dressing as Ben McAdoo because you may get arrested. Because you
we're in
kind
dope.
of look like a child predator.
John Harbaugh, another one that'd be easy to do with the tight
Oh,
khakis,
the khakis
and
and
the
the
Sharpie
glasses, yeah.
That would be pretty easy.
I like the
Not that he's
baby
NFL.
Andy Reeds. Those are my favorite costumes.
You know who would be the funniest NFL coach of all time that you could dress up as?
Who's that?
Ditka.
Yeah.
Mike Ditka.
Oh,
Sweater vest, Bears colors, that's
Sure
all you
enough.
gotta do. And then one other notable costume I saw on social media that the Rochester Red Wings tweeted out was a kid dressed up as Conehead. And that was by far like the greatest costume. I'm going to steal that someday. He was carrying around the peanuts and Cracker Jacks and had the Conehead.
Our little person put on a lamb hat for about 2 minutes so that she could take a picture and then take it back off.
That's cute.
Wish it was lamb chop.
Lamb chop.
My parents dressed
Lamb
up the
chop,
dogs.
Natalie.
The dogs were dressed up.
Did everyone come over?
They get trick-or-treaters over there?
No,
No way.
no.
I was going to say, that's a long walk
Yeah.
up that driveway for
Yeah.
a fun-sized Twix bar.
That's a tough street to go trick or treating on.
Yeah.
You gotta drive. You gotta have someone drive you around if you're gonna trick or treat there.
You guys had a go kart. Did you ever utilize that on Halloween?
No. No
What
lights on
up
the
on
go kart.
Oh, flashlight.
So Halloween's over. October's over. It is now November, or as we call it here on the 259 show, Movember.
And to celebrate Men's Health Month or whatever it's called, what are we doing?
Gonna live my life to the best of my ability, Ty.
Tyler, are you going to grow facial hair this month?
No,
Why not?
I already shaved. So
That's so hipster of you.
Yeah, Tyler's such a hipster.
Drew, you want to see who can grow the longer beard?
I don't know. If we're doing length off the chin, I think you win. But I think I've got.
You got bushier cheeks.
I think
I trim it. I trim it on the sides. Like it gets real Amish on me real fast.
at least my head's around. I got the whole Santa Claus complex going on. Maybe I'll do that. Grow it out so I can dye it white for Santa Claus.
Just go mustache.
No. The Thanksgiving episode of the show, when I'm in the studio, we'll measure each other's lengths of our beards.
Joe sounds awfully optimistic that he's going to be here for that.
He'll be in the shower.
Don't throw shade, bro.
So for Movember, we're just telling you to go get your
get
business
checked out.
done.
To take care of business.
Go get your business done.
I do have to compliment the NFL though for October not pushing breast cancer.
Oh yeah,
awareness
that's
down
right.
our
We
throat
went
this
through.
year.
I didn't even notice any panic this year.
No,
Yeah, what was the deal with
they
that?
did a crucial catch. They included all cancers into the month of October.
Oh, okay.
Are
I
they
think
still doing
after-
the game?
After 8
Are they
years, I
still
think
doing
we're
the
pretty
game where the
aware.
guys wear they can cleats, where they can wear cleats for whatever charitable cause they want? Are they doing that again this year?
Yeah, they already did that. I think.
Yeah, I think they got one more. I think it might be Thanksgiving week or something like that
Oh.
too. I think they've got 2 weeks they're allowed to do that.
Wasn't November usually military month, Veterans Month too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
salute
Was
to
that still?
service.
Was that still?
Yeah, I think that's this week.
You bought some
and
gear
next
last
week.
year, remember? Yeah, right. You
Yeah,
bought the
because I
hat.
forgot my hat at home, so and that hat's great. Good hat.
Yeah.
Well, I think people finally caught on to that it was just kind of a money making scheme
Yeah.
more than anything else.
So, talking about the NFL, where do we start? Let's start with last Thursday night.
Last Thursday night, yeah, I mean the Dolphins didn't play well. It was ugly. It was not fun.
Followed by this past Thursday night. The Bills
Yeah,
didn't
the
play
Bills.
well. It was
The
ugly.
Bills
It
did
was
not
not
play.
fun.
It was ugly. It was not fun. I was there. I wanted to murder every Jet fan that ran in my way. There
Weren't many. There was only about 20,000 of them there because that stadium looked empty.
The top of the stadium was definitely empty. I mean, there wasn't that many people there. And when you go, it's almost like I would say a third Bills fans, 2/3 Jets fans. There's a lot of Bills fans there.
Were you able to move down closer to the field?
No, honestly, I didn't care to. I mean,
Yeah.
at halftime we were still in it, but like by the third quarter, I was ready to leave.
Did you wear your Andre Reed jersey?
No, I just wore a hoodie and a hat.
So you went as the neutral, out of town fan.
No, I wore a Bills hoodie and a
you wore
Bills hat.
Okay, I got you.
Yes.
I thought you meant like no, I went in like.
No, I'm
street
sorry.
clothes.
Yeah, I wore Bills gear. I would definitely not go as a neutral fan.
I feel like that stadium you can get away with wearing the other team's gear. I don't think there's many stadiums you can go and not be a big headache. Like you get ridiculed every time you wear your Dolphin stuff.
Not last year. I
Well,
didn't.
No?
That's because Bills fans are just as obnoxious. Like
Yeah.
we love them, but they're the most obnoxious fans in the world. But I'll give the Jets a close second.
So, so that was our Thursday night football recaps. It's very disappointing.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to overreact to that and think your season's over. But I mean, every team's going to lose a game. Every team already has lost a game at least this year, and every team's probably going to lose one game handily.
Is Thursday night football bad for the league?
I think it's stupid. I mean,
I don't like it.
It's only 4 days rest. A lot of teams have I'm gonna say a process to get ready for the week, and you cut that week short by
But-
3 days. And
Both teams that are playing have a short week.
no, I know, it's a even playing field, but I think it's still a difficult situation. And I think if one team, like you saw on last Thursday, the Ravens caught steam early, and the Dolphins just couldn't get back. I mean, it's like one team gets a couple breaks in the beginning of the game, and they're definitely going to win.
I personally think Thursday night football hurts the football fan because my team's not playing tomorrow on Sunday. Chances are I won't be watching any NFL tomorrow. Because usually when I watch a 1 o'clock game on TV, I'll stick around and watch the first bit of the 4 o'clock, and then I'll come back Sunday night and watch the Sunday night football night in America and Sunday night. But I'm just totally checked out because I put so much into staying up Thursday night, and I'm beat.
But when you say checked out, do you still have the game on in the background? Because they don't care if you're watching as long as you have the game on and
I
getting
don't think I
ratings.
will. I think I'll be busy doing stuff around the house, and it's kind of like your bye week. You don't watch football in your bye week because
Yeah, I mean,
He has Premier League
it's a
soccer
less
on,
it's a
so-
less stressful way. It's a less stressful way to watch football. I don't have to freak out over the Bills. I'll just watch another game leisurely.
Do you guys normally tune into the Thursday night game if your team's not playing?
If I remember that it's on,
I don't normally
watch.
I don't normally watch it.
if it's a notable game, I will. But
Yeah.
it's
It's usually bad. I didn't watch any of the Dolphins Ravens.
I turned
games
that on
last
when I
week.
got into bed Thursday night because I thought it would put me to. It actually kept me up because it was very active as far as penalties went and the slaughtering of both teams physically on the field. It was kind of fun to watch in that sense. But
I'll talk more about what I think about Thursday Night Football coming up in unpopular opinions. But what do you think of the Bills' chances following their loss to the Jets? Who I might
Look,
add,
I mean, it was
I might add,
yeah.
when I was so excited about the Dolphins beating the Jets a couple weeks ago, Drew pointed out the Jets aren't even trying to win.
I don't know what the Jets are trying to do anymore. And Jeff Diedrich just posted that on our Facebook page too. I don't think they know what they want to do. Do we want to tank?
Nobody.
or do we
None
want
of
to
the
do
none of the
They're
fans.
terrible at
None of the
tanking.
fans know what they want. None of the players know what they want. Tyler, to answer your question, I think both the Bills and Dolphins seasons are both salvageable. I mean, it's one loss. Buffalo's 5-3. It was an away game.
Where are the Fins?
And the Jets clearly aren't bad.
Yeah, no, they're not.
I mean, they almost
have a
beat the
good
Patriots
defense.
too.
Their quarterback is playing good ball
He's
to at least
old.
keep his team in the
McCown.
ball game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
in the
Buffalo
league forever.
they need to win next week because it's a home game against the Saints, and if you lose that, you're 5-4, and you got to basically almost win out.
Yeah,
But
the Dolphins.
it's still the season. To use a Mikeism, the season is still young. You know,
Yeah, the Dolphins.
very much
the
young.
night is young.
Dolphins are still 4-3. They're still very much in the hunt. They might still even
Yeah.
be in the playoffs if the season ended today. I have to double check on that.
And looking forward to next week. The Bills have a week and a half to prepare for the Saints at home. The long-term forecast for next weekend right now is 35 and rain snow, which is
Not good for the
not
Saints.
good for Drew Brees.
And I would like to point out that the Dolphins got blown out by the Ravens last year in the middle of a playoff run. The Dolphins do not match up with the Ravens well at all. We lose to them almost every year.
So
And you're getting Jay Cutler back. That's a big plus. I mean,
Maybe.
And the whole league's down too. At least the AFC conference. You can
No,
guarantee.
there's just a lot of parity.
Yeah, you can guarantee
Like, more so
Steelers,
than-
Patriots, and Chiefs. And then
Yeah.
the next three spots are.
Up for
We
grabs.
thought it was going to be the Texans, and we heard Deshaun Watson. went out
Well,
with
yeah,
his
I was
knee,
just about to
and
say that's
bummer.
really sad what happened to Watson, man. He was having a heck of a year.
It's
And
been
from everything I've heard about the kid, he's like a really, really good person.
That's really
So
nice.
it's kind of he's just a really nice guy. But it really sucks that I
It's
mean,
been a crazy year of injuries in the NFL. I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
remember a year like this where so many stars, young and old,
And I have a theory on
been out
that.
for the year.
I have a theory on that. Teams barely hit before the
In
season starts
practice?
anymore. They hardly do anything at training camp anymore compared to what they used to do.
You think players are more fragile?
Yeah.
Isn't that why most football-related injuries are high school level? Because kids are going out there hitting every day. Isn't that-
I didn't know that was a fact.
I
don't know.
didn't know football related injuries mostly happened in high school. I think, like Tyler said, when we played high school, we went full pads 2 of the days and we were hitting. You know what I mean? And not a lot of guys on our team got hurt that year. So I think there's a correlation between you have to go out and pop the pads a little bit, and the NFL guys aren't doing that.
Yeah. But that's another topic for another day. We've got a lot more meat to get to. Well,
Before we
What do you got?
move to the food-related side of the NFL talk, we'll dive into our last man standing. This past week, Mike Brookay and John Schwinn both picked the Bills over the Jets. And as we know in Thursday Night Football, the Bills stayed in Orchard Park. And Eric Luisi this week has the Rams over the Giants. So if the LA Rams take care of business this week, he will be crowned our 259 show last man standing.
this is a good time to do my I-team investigation if you're ready.
Oh boy!
Okay, I'm
Hit the clip.
prepared, Ty.
Hit the clip. We have an I-team. Is that this one?
I think he's
An I-team investigation in the 259 show. This has been a subject of hot debate. I posed this question a few weeks back. Who is the second most popular NFL team in Western New York?
All right.
And what were your thoughts on
You
that?
said Dolphins.
Uh-huh.
I
We
think
went
the Steelers,
Giants.
I think I went Giants.
Steelers and Cowboys. I think were up there.
Okay, so what other teams do you think would be included in the top
the
5?
Raiders.
Browns.
Ooh, the Browns.
Raiders, Steelers,
Jets.
Browns, Cowboys, Dolphins.
Okay, this is by no means a scientific poll, but
Where
I've
did
done
this
a
poll
little
come
research.
from?
I've
Yeah.
done a little research. Let me explain.
This has to be Dolphins.
This is a straw poll that Tyler did with
The
the
teacher
teacher
phone.
I'm just saying.
last Saturday at
I'm just
dinner.
happy. I'm just happy this IT investigation is not some dirt dug up on what I have said or done when I was.
Hey Joe, that was
a
not
sophomore.
dirt. That was true fact.
That means there's
When I
a
was a sophomore in college. No. What I'm saying is Tyler probably would have found something I said as a sophomore in college and just roasted me.
Tape recorded in one of his tapes he puts on before bed.
clearly there's a lot of dirt out there about Joe. So
Yeah,
We'll get into it.
Tyler's got it all documented.
So what I did,
So
I searched up each NFL team's Facebook page and saw how many of my friends liked each one.
This is.
Before you say the data is going to be biased,
It
That's
is.
all right, how many of my family members like the Dolphins? Myself, my dad, my brother, my grandpa.
that's
4. So
yeah, but how many people in your family legitimately enjoy watching football? Like, if I had to tell you how many people in my family
Most
actually
of them.
sit down and watch football,
most of
I mean,
them, particularly most males in my family. Anywho, so this is, like I said, by no means scientific, but it does give some indication of who the most popular teams are.
How bored were you at work?
I was at home doing it. It only
How bored were you at home?
it took 5
You took
minutes.
a kid to take care of?
This took 5 minutes. So, okay. So, of my Facebook friends, 106 of them.
How many
like
Facebook friends do you
the
have?
Buffalo? I have
This is crucial.
somewhere between 400 and 500, closer to 500.
All right.
Also, by the way, this doesn't mean it's their favorite team, but they do like the team.
All right.
So anyhow.
I don't even think I like the team on Facebook. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So the Bills, not surprisingly, had 106 of my friends liked the Buffalo Bills
hey,
Facebook page.
About
go
20%.
Bills, right?
Coming in second place. Any guesses here?
Oh, the
It
Dolphins.
is the Miami
I'm gonna
Dolphins
go with
Tyler's
Miami.
485.
with 13. Most of whom are not related to me. And another potential flaw in
I'm gonna
this
do
that
the
you may want
same
to point
thing.
out: how many of these Facebook friends actually live in Western New York? An overwhelming majority live here now or are from here. So, So the Dolphins came in second with 13. Coming in third, the Green Bay Packers,
Me.
12.
Who else? Just
I've got 18 who like the Dolphins. Hold on, I'm typing in the Cowboys.
Joe, let me get through the data first, and then we can reassess this.
Yeah, I'm doing my own
terrible.
data.
Okay, the New York Giants.
I hate everything
The New
about
York
this.
Giants were third with 10, and then the Dallas Cowboys with 9, and the Seattle Seahawks with 9. Interesting.
Oh, that's a bunch of little kids who are just rooting on that
There were a few
bandwagon.
teams that had 0.
Do you go out of your way to find Dolphins fans or become friends with
No.
Dolphins fans?
No.
How close of friends are these?
Hey, you can go. You can
Dan
go look.
Marino,
There's a few follow Dan
Darius
Marino.
Rucker. No wonder why they're not related.
Do you want to guess which teams had 0?
The Bills.
The Rams.
The Chargers,
The,
the
Raiders.
49ers.
No, you're all wrong. The Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Texans each had 0.
I'm not surprised about the Texans.
So the Jets, to some surprise, only had 4. The Patriots had 6. So the Jets were last in the AFC East.
So
for
Mike
that.
Hughes and then 3 other friends.
Mike.
The NFC East has a lot of fans.
That's what I'm saying. I was at the game. I was at the game with my buddy Kyle Zappia, and I was like, it's like we're surrounded by 40,000 Mike Hugheses at this point. This is just, I can't do this.
The Steelers only had 8. Cowboys had 9. Eagles had 7. Broncos had 7 also. They had more than the Patriots. So,
Okay.
Take that for what it's
the
worth.
Dolphins are.
Western
but
New
according to
York's
my
second
data,
favorite team.
which could be flawed,
I can't believe
the
you
Dolphins
looked
are the
this
second
up.
most popular team in Western New York.
Well, let's make this our Facebook post this week. Let's make up a graph.
There you go.
Okay.
And which
Oh,
team
that's a good
is...
idea.
A poll, right?
Make a graph.
So we can do
Like,
that. And then we can at least poll our
Is there a
listeners.
way that people can vote on the poll, right?
Yeah, to put a poll of all 32 teams and let's hash it out there.
Yes.
There you go. Settle this debate.
So that was your I-Team investigation.
Gee, thanks, Tyler.
You know what's gonna happen with this though is honestly we're gonna get more people voting for the Dolphins and the Bills. It's gonna happen.
And
Watch.
Molly will
I
decide
swear
to like our
No,
page.
the question is who is the second most popular NFL team in Western New York? The
I'm
Bills won't
telling
be
you
on
that the
poll.
Bills are going to get upset and for some crazy.
Oh, we leave the Bills
Oh,
off.
so what you're suggesting is that the Dolphins are the most popular team and the Bills are the
Can we move on?
saying-
Can we please move on?
I'm just saying, amongst our fans, I think I don't know if we have any Bills fans, to be honest with you.
Thank you for tuning in to the 259
Jeez.
Show, live from the 259 Show studios in southeastern Hilton, New York. Weekly podcast that comes to you every Saturday mornings at our website, the259show.com. You can also hear us on villageradio.net.
Which you
Saturday
probably know
nights
if you're already
and
listening to
Sunday
this.
Mornings available on Google Play.
Probably don't have any
iTunes
live
podcast.
listeners.
Anywho, we have one upstairs.
Food talk.
Shout out to Samantha upstairs. She's listened. She has texted the program saying, "I cannot dye my beard white for Christmas." And so, big shout out to her for letting us do this Saturday morning in
Thanks, Sam.
her studio. Anywho, food talk. Let's transition to food talk. Last Sunday, Mike Vincelli and I headed out to New Era Field in Western New York, and we did a little tailgate.
Dude, Silverado Drew over here. Move over, Pinto Ron. We have a new guy in town.
Rado
The
Drew.
tailgate master. Ooh, I like Rado Drew.
Did you squirt barbecue sauce all over it?
There's actually
This
country sweet. It was very sticky.
country sweet and buffalo wing sauce.
Hurt the eyes. Needs
Drew,
bells.
let me tell you, Drewman had the absolute setup. I'm going to go off on a limb here and say you got to be a top 100 tailgater at
The weather sucked.
at the Cap. The weather sucked. Drewman went out the day before, got himself a nice tent with canopies. We were blocked off from the rain and the wind. He had a propane heater in there for us with chairs. He had a table. He had the charcoal grill set up outside. This man, it was awesome. It was an awesome experience.
It, man. Every time I've been like out with Drew or
He just
I'm
takes
only
care of you.
tailgated every so often. He does. He is very hospitable.
Yes.
You know, he
Hostess
he,
or host
I said
with
that
the
wrong.
most.
Tyler, what's the correct pronunciation? How do I say that?
Of what?
Hospitable.
Hospitable.
You got it.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? Oh wow!
You got it.
Look at me go.
And surprisingly, the
That
food
was
turned
good.
out good.
Oh, let me
Because,
tell you what we had. What was on the menu. First of all, Papa Bear's cookies were the hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, yeah, Papa Bear's
Papa Bear's
cookies.
cookies.
The horse
chocolate-
doovers.
the horse doovers.
Forgot about the cookies.
And he actually went around and handed it to. He was carrying around the plate and handing us cookies.
Did he have an apron on?
As they were tossed around the pigskin. No, I told him he had to get an apron.
I have one. I
had-
just didn't make the trip.
I think custom one Rado Drew would be something nice. So we had the cookies to start off with, chocolate chip.
I forgot I brought those.
They're
Were
fantastic.
they homemade?
Yes.
Homemade.
Home baked?
Uncle Eric turned one down because he
Well-
said I had too many sweets today.
And it was 9 o'clock in the morning. He had a couple
Oh,
donuts.
so who was at this tailgate
Okay, so it
festivity?
was Ruben and his missus, Sam, myself, our good friend Eric Luisi, Josh Bray, and Jimmy Wagner, who's also made an appearance on the show. So yeah, started off with the chocolate chip cookies. Then what did we do? We tossed around the pigskin a little bit, worked up a little sweat. German slaving over the grill. He threw on some wings for us. This was just like a kind of pre-gamer right here, the wings. He had half the wings were barbecue, right?
Yep.
Country Sweet barbecue. And then the other half were buffalo wing. And these were delicious. He had the mixing bowls, and he's just shuffling around. Tossing them up and down. Oh, those were good.
Lubed them up.
Oh, very good, very moist, great chicken wing. And then we finished the night off with tailgate plates. Oh, yeah.
The night?
Whatever. It
Oh.
felt like a night by that time.
12 noon.
It was noon. It felt like it was 9 at night.
So what time did you get there?
9 o'clock.
9 a.m.
Yeah, German crushed it. It was awesome. You prepared the potatoes already, and then he just heated them up over the grill. We had hot sauce, burgers, cheeseburger,
Donuts?
Queso.
hot dog. Oh yeah, he did queso on the grill. This man was just doing it all. We were full, happy,
Dry.
dry, ready to puke because we were running around.
And then what a
food in
game.
our belly.
What
It was a good game too.
Yeah.
Man. Buffalo played strong in that game. Got a big W.
How was the Raider contingent?
There's
a lot of Raiders
There's
fans.
a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Tell me, they're coming back out of the woods.
Yeah. Not
Those fans always travel well, though. When we first, it took us a little bit to get in. Drew went in early. Us four stayed back a little bit, and Drew's texting me saying, "Drew sits down. What end zone is it?"
It is opposite the tunnel, opposite the team.
Okay, opposite
So-
the tunnel, opposite the team. He goes, "Hey guys, there's some open seats down here." So we ventured down. What did we last about 10 minutes
Yeah.
in your row? People filed up, so we filed back up towards the middle a little
You
bit.
didn't try to fit 4 people in 2 seats, Mike?
We didn't pull a Druman at Notre Dame.
What section were you in?
307.
307,
Oh.
yeah.
And what were you wearing?
I was wearing a Buffalo Bulls rain jacket because it was raining that day. So that was the
From a
best thing to
UB.
go.
Breaking news.
My I team investigated her Facebook friends. This is my fiance Samantha, and the teams they like: Bills at 89, then it's the Steelers at 41,
Whoa.
Eagles and Dolphins at 17, 4 for the Browns, 4 for the Seahawks, 3 for the Raiders. Those are her. Probably more
from the-
unbiased because she didn't know we were doing this. So,
Wait a minute. How is that unbiased?
Tyler's telling Grandma Judy to like the Dolphins page. His aunt and
Surrounding
uncle,
herself
his little cousins.
Dolphins fans.
because prior to Samantha and I meeting each other, she was not a Bills fan, and I still think to tell myself that she is a Bills fan now. So I think that's
When she
not
actually
unbiased.
does not give a damn.
no, not at all.
She just does not care.
So you guys each have homework for this week. I want you to go through your Facebook friends and tally.
I've got enough homework to do. Anyway, I think I'm friends with 3 Dolphins fans. You, Jake, and Molly. And Jeff, 4. Unless if Lori likes it too, 5. So the Dietrich family.
Nick Fillion?
Oh, that's right, Nick Fillion.
You'll
So
be
there's
surprised. You'll be surprised.
6. Anywho, the tailgate scene was great. The people around us, we gave some leftover wings.
Oh yeah,
to
we
them.
gave leftover wings to the group behind us. The guy came back over. I gave it to him. And he came back and congratulated. He's like, "These are the best wings." I'm like, "The chef's right here, man." And he dapped Drew up. Maybe even gave him a bro hug. I
was
don't
a
know.
bro hug.
It was a bro hug, and all was well.
It was textbook definition of a bro hug.
How was your game experience?
They won.
It was fun, cold, wet. But it was good. The Bills won, and the crowd was lively. So I
Did you order no duels this time?
No, did not make that mistake again.
Stayed away from the no duels.
Wait, Mike, the last
Nope.
time you were in the
How was your
I think we went on.
How was your traffic experience on your way out?
We left. Well,
At
the
the
game
same
was
time?
kind of out of reach. Yeah, we got out.
Like 4 minutes left in the game. We
made it home by 6. We had to drop Josh off at his friend's house because he was flying out of Buffalo that day or the next day. So made it out
And
alive.
where'd you park?
Right
Right next to
me.
Drummond.
Oh,
Lot 7.
Lot 7. Beautiful.
so
Right near the exit.
this is your first of 2 scheduled Bills games for this year.
This year, yeah.
Of course, we do have tickets for the Dolphins-Bills game.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait and see on that one
Okay.
because we'll see how both teams are doing at that time.
Mm-hmm.
We could make some dough if things go the Bills' way the rest of the year.
That is true. And if not, I suggest we park next to Rado Drew and enjoy his tailgate feast.
And that's what I talked about last week, I think, in airtime. As long as the Bills still perform, I'm happy as a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
And currently, the guys that sat in front of us last game, they're from Canada. Great people. They turned around, they introduced themselves, and we talked throughout the whole game.
A lot of Canadians go to the
Yeah.
games, too. Yeah.
And they had the whole row in front of us. And the $95 ticket is the face value of the ticket. They spent $175 American on. So I'm still ahead of the game, I think, with these season tickets. If you asked me back in August, I'm sure it was an airtime back then,
Oh,
how
yeah.
stupid I was with
Oh, yeah.
buying the season tickets.
We covered it.
Thank you, Samantha, for talking me into it.
Pleasantly
Redoing.
surprised.
Drew, will this make you? And let's have optimistic thinking here. Suppose the Bills make the playoffs or have a good season. Would you still get the season tickets next year?
We're going to talk about that in our airtime today.
Oh,
Drew Fowler squares off against the Buffalo Bills in a hot take, and I was fuming earlier this
Wow.
week.
Should we move on? And
Has then been
One more
resolved.
thing.
Yeah.
What if that Dolphins-Bills game gets flexed to Sunday night for some reason?
That
We
would be
gotta
awesome.
go.
That'd be
We have
awesome.
to go.
Yeah, man, dude. Sunday,
Good money-making
yeah.
opportunity.
No,
But hey,
go
it's
to
your
the
ticket.
game.
It's your ticket.
Come
You
on.
paid for your ticket. So.
I don't know.
You'd be sitting next to some guys who overpaid on StubHub. They're
Yeah.
angry.
With their kids.
But we
'cause
will,
they're in the
uh,
family section.
We've got a month before we have to worry about that. So.
Yeah.
They got to give us, 2 weeks up notice for a flex game? Isn't that how the
I think
the networks have to call it?
I think
to
it's like
decide?
it's like 10 days or
The
something.
chances of it being a Sunday night game are slim to none.
Yeah, it's
They-
very very small chances of that are happening.
But
Week
they-
15. It depends who else is already in that slot.
They don't like having
I'm not-
primetime games in Buffalo.
The only time
Yeah,
the only time they did is when the Patriots
Oh
were
my God.
undefeated
Yeah.
in 2007.
Sorry,
Came to Buffalo.
Like with the prime time, which made me think about how when the Bills games have a prime time in Buffalo, the fans have all day to get rowdy.
Yeah.
There was in this. I'm going to talk about this in my airtime a little bit, but there was like an emergency with the Bills Mafia at this Jets game because they're insane. I'm going to talk about it later.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's
Oh.
week 15, you said?
Yes.
That would be Ravens Steelers. So
That's
chances are
a
that's
tough one. Even if they're they'll probably both be in contention.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got
I think
week 17's Vikings Packers. So that
if Aaron Rodgers
you
comes
can answer
back,
this for me. Is every game the last 2 weeks of the NFL season? Is that a division game?
no, just the last week.
That's pretty cool the way they do that.
The only time that the Bills I think have played on Sunday Night Football since it came to NBC was against the Patriots in 2007. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I've watched a lot of football on TV in my days. Because I'm old.
Your 24 years of life on this
25,
earth.
thank you.
Oh, 25.
Watching Thursday Night Football on TV this past week was very difficult. That stadium has very high camera angles. I don't know if you've ever noticed at MetLife. Very high. And, even college football game.
How
Notre Dame,
high, Drew?
Very high.
Just super high.
Like Notre Dame football games on TV usually have a high camera angle. Nothing compared to what MetLife. It was very annoying to watch.
What are you talking about when you say a high camera angle? Like the cameras are literally perched up high in the stadium, so it's coming
Yes.
down on the action.
They don't
Well, I think
have-
that's just. Well, I think like the night games, they have that like crazy vision cam,
No,
like of
this
the
was
camera.
This
Yeah,
was
the
their
Skycam, which they had to use
Yeah.
as the primary camera a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago.
But no, Joe, this was their A shot. This was the ball on the line of scrimmage, or the camera on the line of scrimmage, because I don't believe in that stadium they have the car that goes up and down the sideline like they do in most stadiums. And that's where you usually get
That is-
There's no room for it.
No. Anyway, I know that irritated me.
One more thing to point out: the Dolphins are actually playing on Sunday Night Football tomorrow night. It's only the second time since NBC got the Sunday Night Football package, which is now the premier game of the week. It's only the second time that they've been on it since it
Who are
started
they?
in
Who are they
2006.
playing?
The Raiders.
There you go, Tyler's 13 Facebook friends. Who like the
Don't Dolphins have 3 straight primetime games?
Yes.
From Thursday, Sunday
Yes,
night, and then
that's
what do they have
on
next
Monday.
week?
Which used to be the norm back when I started, like the first several years I watched the Dolphins. They had like 4 primetime games a year. Now, not so much. But they do this year.
Yeah, I mean,
marquee names on the team.
Yeah, hopefully they come out to play.
So, back to food talk.
Yes, because that's where
Morton Steakhouse.
Morton
who's
Steakhouse,
that?
which is a fancy steakhouse around the country. It's a chain. Just opened in Rochester. It's at the...
it's right on Main Street.
It's at one of the hotels
Hyatt.
downtown.
I believe it's the
Hyatt. Someone pointed out here, $39 6-ounce steaks.
Which is a very small steak, if you're not familiar with the steak game. That's like hamburger
But
size.
let's take a look at I see that this is the menu for the Houston location. So
I couldn't find the Rochester location, but yes. that-
Where I missed it. Sorry, Tyler. Where is it going to be in Rochester?
it's downtown. It's in one of the hotels downtown. So
my understanding is
it looks really nice from
this
what I can
place
tell.
is the only people who go to Morton's is when they're in town for like a conference and their
convention?
business pays for their meals. The way Morton's is set up, I heard this from Sam's father, so my future father-in-law, is everything's a la carte. So you order your steak, and then you got to order the potatoes and pay for that side. You got to order, whatever you want, and everything is piecemeal.
Like if you want to get like asparagus, you have to get that on the
So it
side.
runs up the bill pretty high, though.
Yeah, and yeah,
You share that stuff usually.
a $39 starting steak.
So some well-to-do downtown and East Side elites will be.
Lovely Warren will be there. And
Waze.
No, you don't go to
Leticia
Morton's.
Stasio will be frequenting.
Also, people who don't know anything about the cuisine in our area who are coming in from out of town will probably go there.
That's
Yeah,
what
why
you
don't you
should
go to
say.
Nick
Oh, you
House
gotta
and
go
get a
to-
garbage plate?
Hey!
You gotta go to Morton's. It's just great.
Other food news, Drew. DeBella's is doing something exciting.
I saw, where was I? I was on, I never take this road. I was on Mount Reed between Dewey, or Stone maybe, and Ridge Road. There was a big billboard. DeBella's pulled pork is here. And a sub of a DeBella's sub.
Are you
of
getting
pulled
involved?
pork. I did not. I haven't had an opportunity to yet.
Will you be getting involved?
I hope to be. That sounds great. DeBella's subs, I think we've broke down on the show before, is second to the Wegmans sub. They're basically the
They're
same
pretty
thing,
much
though.
the same thing, yeah.
Just Wegmans has typically fresher ingredients because they're Wegmans.
You hope to involve thyself. And
I hope to be involved. He has risen to DeBella's.
yes, he hath risneth. A couple other things I'll point out real quick here. Coach Tony's Chicken Wing Dip is now available at Wegmans in Rochester and Buffalo
I'll get involved.
areas. Coach Tony's has a good hot sauce, the Meat Hot, if you're familiar.
That's
on
what
the
you
tailgate
use,
plates.
yeah.
Special for winter, vanilla Tootsie Rolls are being sold. You can buy them, just bags of just vanilla Tootsie Rolls, which are usually the ones that I pick out of the fruity Tootsie
Is
Rolls.
that new? I thought
Yes.
that was always a thing.
I don't know.
Oh.
But regardless, it's happening. And then one other candy that I recently saw that's coming out is the Hershey's Gold. I don't know if you've heard of this, Michael,
Oh, yeah.
with peanuts and pretzels inside the Hershey bar.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
And the other Hershey's.
In
Gold.
other candy news, same with Hershey's. They have the Nutrageous.
Yeah.
They're now having the
I
Outrageous.
saw that, the Outrageous. That
And was
looks
that
good.
include like Krispies? No.
I have not seen the Nutrageous.
Oh, it's like I think it's
Quite some
like a
time.
Reese's stick.
Yeah, something like
It's all
that.
built
With,
around
yeah,
that.
yeah. It looks good.
I
I
saw
saw
that.
that the other day.
Is nuts for nuts.
So that's all I have for food talk.
National Sandwich Day was this past week.
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
I enjoyed National Sandwich Day. Sam makes me lunch for school every day. It's
Uh-huh.
typically a turkey sandwich,
Yeah.
turkey on white. We ran out of turkey,
And
so it's
you get
peanut butter.
accoutrements, you put
I
mayonnaise
didn't
and
realize it was. I knew it was peanut butter. I didn't think of it until it went into my mouth.
Were you disappointed?
No, it was actually a great twist.
Oh, okay.
But I was a little thrown
Just a
off
peanut
little
butter
bit.
sandwich?
Yeah,
Just peanut.
it's rough when you're expecting to bite into one thing in a sandwich and it's something
Yeah.
completely
It
different.
was delicious, but
But-
National Sandwich Day.
Yeah,
Kind
sandwiches
of
are
came and
good.
went. We'll make the note for next year to celebrate National Sandwich Day.
So we are in November now, and that means that it is acceptable to start listening to Christmas music, which I did. It's
Wait,
on
I thought
Sunny
it was November- I thought it was
102.3.
November 8th, Tyler.
Nope, it's November 1st now. I moved it up.
Daylight savings.
By the way, do that tomorrow. You get an extra hour of sleep tonight,
So
people.
you get yourself checked, change your clocks, and turn on Christmas music. November.
It's on Sunny
Grow your
102.3.
mustache.
Man,
Women,
right there.
men, women, and children. Grow
Sunny
your
102.3 out
mustaches.
of Canandaigua starts November 1st every year now. If you're a Sirius XM subscriber, channel 70, Holly,
Bring out the
Christmas
holly.
music. I've been listening to that as
I'll
well.
hold off.
I mean,
No,
so Tyler, I'll admit that I actually thought about dabbling into Christmas music like a couple days ago. I set myself like, okay, November 8th is when I'm going to start doing it, but I was ready to get into it, man.
I have Dale. I'm not fully immersed in Christmas music yet, but I listen to this. I mean, if
You're just listening
and
to
if it's
like
too much,
It's,
I'll-
maybe it's cold outside, or you know, just like generic snow.
not snow,
Right.
not snow, but just generic
Why isn't
holiday
there more
or winter.
Thanksgiving music? We might
I
have
don't know,
talked about
Mike.
this last
We
year.
got to work
There
on
needs-
that though.
There's a whole niche right there that's untapped.
Another business
Untapped
idea
market.
for us.
Actually, my unpopular opinion is about people who celebrate Christmas.
So we'll get to that, but I don't see any Christmas lights up yet. Obviously, there's Christmas stuff in the stores, but
My question is, when is it acceptable to put lights on the house? Not necessarily turn them on, but to have not the reindeer and the trees, but like roof stuff.
your house, your
I
choice.
think a good time to do that is I'm actually gonna help my dad because we always do it every year at this time. Is like the weekend after Thanksgiving. I think that's
Because
I usually
I
do
know
around
weather,
Thanksgiving.
weather plays a big factor too. You kind of got to look at the forecast and when it's going to start getting really nippy outside. Yeah, but I say around Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I wait till after, especially if the weather could hold off for
give
you.
or take, right around
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Drew,
people
like you
start
said, if
putting
you're just
their
gonna
trees up on
if you're just gonna put the lights up and you're not gonna turn them on, man, go do it whenever you want, I guess, because
Are you
it doesn't
itching?
matter.
I'm thinking about it because
Itching, crackling, and burning.
No, dude. Some people haven't even taken down their Halloween stuff yet.
But if someone sees you putting your lights up, they're going to assume you're going to turn them on. So
Assume.
it's all about setting a precedent in your neighborhood, Drew.
we would like to.
What do you want to see happen?
What do I want to see happen?
Do you want Christmas lights to be up right now? Because if you start putting your lights up, then your neighbor's gonna start putting his lights up, and he's gonna turn his lights on.
I'm fine with that.
It's the whole domino effect of the. Drew, you could throw off the whole
Christmas dynamic.
It's a dynamic of the neighborhood.
Young buck coming in, putting up his lights.
Make it
New
all
hot guy.
If you're listening for some Christmas or other holiday-related television programming, Hallmark's Countdown to Christmas started last week. I think we talked about
Dude,
that already.
Hallmark is the
It was
worst.
before Halloween.
Please, you don't watch
I don't know why
those, do you, Tyler?
died.
A little bit.
They're not good.
The wife does, though.
Hallmark movies.
The wife
But
puts it on, and I
They're
just
all
so
the
happen to be
same.
in
The
the room.
plot's the
we
same
will
for
let you
every
know
movie.
about further Christmas-related programming as we move through this month.
I'm kind of intrigued. I don't know if we really talked about it last year, and maybe this is something you can include in your countdown to Christmas, Tyler, this year. Non-Christmas movies that are included into Christmas movies.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's one of them. But was it like CBS chose Wizard of Oz every Christmas Eve?
Oh, so
those kind of
actually,
movies
Drew,
that
I remember when you guys talked about this a couple weeks ago. Harry Potter does not take place during Christmas. It's a full year. It's a school year that it takes place in. But I think to answer your question is, it's like one of those like feel good movies maybe. Like a lot of people enjoy it. There are scenes that take place during Christmas, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, we'll get there. There's Willy
So-
Wonka.
Yep. I mean, there's always those movies that.
Aladdin. Clearly not a Christmas movie. Anywho, some TV
Other
talk.
TV
Moving into
talk.
that.
Drew, I want to ask you: were you able to catch a Football Life last night? The Jim
I did
Kelly
not
story?
know.
No, I saw clips. I'm gonna watch it tonight. It's on at 10 p.m. again, but I've heard the clips looked really, really good. It looks good.
Yeah, I was going to point that out. On Football Life, Jim Kelly on the NFL Network. It's a very well done series. I have not seen this episode. I have not seen the Dan Marino one, which was the season premiere this year. I have not seen it yet, but I downloaded it off YouTube, so I will be watching that.
Well, we're talking about those documentaries are feel-good documentaries about these people and their life, and they're documentaries on these big-time football people. Listening to sports radio yesterday, Mike, maybe you heard it. Wes Welker made the circuit yesterday for his new biography.
Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
I said Wes.
Oh, he was on
Wes
Good Morning
Welker.
America yesterday.
Yeah, he
Wes
was on Dan
Yeah,
Patrick
Julian
Show
Edelman.
and Rich
I don't
Eisen
like
show.
that man.
Really?
He was so
Julian
big.
Edelman?
I liked him.
He sounded like he was all stuck up. Everybody told me no, and I didn't have a chance, and I just
He's
kept
got a
working
chip on
hard.
his shoulder.
No.
I think he's a guy who has been
Doubted
denied
his-
opportunity. He played college ball at Kent State. He probably wasn't given
He's
a
a
good
quarterback.
scholarship.
Yeah, nobody
You know
looked
what I mean?
at
Like,
me
he-
because
he-
I was small, blah, blah,
Which is
blah.
true.
That's true.
I mean, good for him. I
yeah.
like Julian Edelman. I think he's a good receiver. He works hard.
No. Don't toot your own horn
I
like
like
that.
Wes Welker.
Nah, he's
He's a
giving
gym
people
rat.
hope.
I don't like
High football IQ.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Ask you. I
Hard
sent you
worker.
a clip.
Grinder.
I think I sent you and Jeff a clip. Pretty cool little fact about all these Hall of Fame quarterbacks that have come from Western Pennsylvania. They did like a TV special on those guys,
Yes.
like Jim Kelly, Dan Marino, Joe Namath, Joe Montana, Johnny Unitas.
Joe Montana was a quarterback, you idiot.
All those dudes hailed from Western PA. Pretty cool little YouTube video on that.
So, keeping the program moving right along here. TV talk. American Chopper. Who would do that?
Who-
American Chopper
that show used to be the stuff.
is coming back to TV.
Is it really?
Yes.
With who? Paulie and the dad?
Yeah, you stupid idiot.
That's pretty much the entire dialogue of the show.
Paul Jr. and what was the other one?
Mikey, yeah.
I don't know the details, but it is coming back to television. I saw.
I used to really be into that show when in its heyday.
I think Jake bought one of the season DVDs.
Yeah. I had like a American Chopper puzzle. It was like the only puzzle I actually completed.
Because they had a chop shop right up on Ridge Road over by Salmon Creek.
Yeah.
We used to drive by every time we would go there.
Yeah. That show's good. The father's still kicking it?
I guess.
Oh, wow.
13 Wham's new side, talked about that earlier, but broadcasting out of the newsroom for now. So that's
How long is that going to take?
At least a month, but we'll see.
So they talked about our candy draft on the show? Or what
No,
was
we
it?
just talked about it behind the scenes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which
And it
happens
got
to be
caught on
the
camera?
scene now. There's no behind the scenes.
Oh.
Currently, I would like to shout out to Sean Carroll as he has tuned in to our live broadcast
Ooh.
of the 259 show.
Our first listener of the week last week.
And he wants to know if the 259 show has a Halloween candy redraft and if it's underway.
Oh.
Maybe next year's show. I'm sorry to disappoint.
I was thinking about
Tyler's
this the
already
other
had
day.
a Christmas.
I was thinking about this the other day. Are we going to do a Thanksgiving food draft, but
Do we rank?
noting that everyone starts with a base of turkey and gravy?
I think a Thanksgiving food draft.
So,
is a pretty
Thanksgiving
solid idea.
sides.
Or like a pie draft.
Can we go 5 rounds? Is there 20
We
items?
could shorten it.
I could go 3.
But that also invites a lot of other unique items to be brought into the draft that people might not think of.
Would we have to write off the turkey, the gravy, the potatoes, and the stuffing?
Everyone starts with a plate of turkey and gravy, and we can add a few other things if we decide. But
Well, no, I think because
we have a few
like
weeks to decide.
the number
this.
one pick, I would assume for a lot of us would be stuffing. So like I don't think we should include that. Like
So
we should be able to
or we
draft.
could just leave it up to the power of the cards.
Yeah.
See who gets.
Yeah, we'll see. But we've got a few weeks before we
So
have to do
we'll
that.
work on that behind the scenes.
I want
like that.
to toss one other thing out here for TV talk because I saw this being debated this week. What's the best time zone for watching sports?
Right away, my gut would say Pacific Coast, all the way out there.
I've had experience
for,
with
for
both.
a game that starts at 1 p.m. on the East Coast. That game starting at what 9
Because
on the
staying
West
up,
Coast.
out here, staying up for a Thursday, Sunday, Monday night game.
Any of
is
the World
rough.
Series games. Woof.
Yeah, especially if you work at 3 a.m.
Yeah, you also got to think though, like for the World Series, the game started at 8 Eastern time. Out west, people are still at work at 5 o'clock. They're missing part of the game. In those primetime games that are out here, you're missing part of the game if it's not the weekend. Especially playoff
That's a good
baseball,
point,
which
Michael.
is early in the day.
I think I would vote.
Soccer, if you like to watch, you got to wake up at 3, 4 in the morning to catch some of the early.
I don't know if
games.
Central Time though
I-
would be.
I'm voting.
I think so.
I'm voting Mountain Time.
Central or Mountain.
What is it? East, Central, Mountain, Pacific.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go Central, man.
Yeah, I think Central's
because the point Mike made about getting out of work and then the game's already started. Like you got to rush home, and that's if you get lucky and get out of work at 5.
Yeah.
I think Mountain Time
Yeah.
with Tyler would be the way to go. Games start at 6. Primetime
Yeah.
games start at 6. And
I think even having just 1 extra hour would be nice. Instead of going to bed
Well, we
at
get that
11
extra
instead
hour.
of
The
midnight.
things that I watch the most are the NFL and NASCAR, which are both primarily on Sunday afternoons,
Yeah.
or occasional Sunday.
Oh.
So actually, it works out for Sunday afternoons because it's usually like I have a little time after I get out of church to go home and get ready for the game. Right now it starts at 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to church at 11. Of course, that could be adjusted, though. But the winner was Central Time in this poll. Awful announcing.
Central.
Yeah, look at me and you go.
I would enjoy.
Finally right.
I think I would enjoy Pacific Time for a little bit. I don't care about.
We're finally right.
I don't care about soccer. I think it would be neat to watch.
God.
Okay, so the London games that kick off at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, the NFL, which I love, by the way. I love morning football.
I love watching football.
6:30 a.m. start would be fun once in a while. I think.
Doable if your team's in
This is coming from a guy who freshman year at Bonna's woke up at what 4 a.m. to watch the
2 a.m.
gold medal game.
2 a.m., which is my normal.
So why didn't you just stay up? You actually went to
Well,
bed.
but I want to get a few hours of sleep.
Most college students
That was
go to
actually
bed
pretty
like 1, 2 o'clock. Anyway.
This was like our second or third night there too.
This was we
2011.
were very very
People are
fresh.
it's
Like,
syllabus week.
No, we didn't even
school
start
hadn't
yet.
even started yet. It was like
It was the day
it was
before
like
the first
welcome
day of
days was
school.
like a Wednesday Thursday. This was on like a Saturday or something.
Speaking of gold medal game, the Winter Olympics is sneaking up on us. I totally forgot it was this winter. It's
Yeah,
less than
I-
100 days away.
I have
South
very
Korea,
little.
right?
I have very little interest in the Olympics, which
Yeah,
Usually
when
the
they
hockey's,
took out professional
the
hockey
one of
my
players,
favorite events,
That's not
but-
going to be fun.
the Winter Olympics aren't as nearly as
No,
fun to
I
watch
agree.
as
I
the
agree.
I mean, they should put like basketball in the Winter Olympics to like boost
Well,
it up a little bit.
The thing
It's
is, everything that's in the Winter Olympics is on snow or ice.
Yeah.
I'll still watch. I
Right.
mean, I'll still watch.
Yeah, but not nearly as much as I have in the past.
I like
Time's
watching
over.
the speed skating. It's actually
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
There's a couple things like the bobsled. I watch curling's one of my favorite sports to watch on TV. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
stop.
old
Stop.
man.
We need to move on.
I think
Moving
too
on.
that the Winter Olympics aren't as anticipated because there's not as many known names in the Winter Olympics.
and there aren't nearly as many sports.
Yeah, not nearly as many sports,
Right.
and the
And
sports
so
aren't
there's
as
only maybe,
popular.
like,
Yeah,
7 or 8 countries. There's only like 7
it's
or 8
been
countries
fun to
that are
watch
going to win
hockey,
a lot of the
but
the
we're not going to
medals.
have NHL players in the Olympics this year.
No.
So,
I think once we get into it and you start becoming familiar, because obviously NBC does a good job of
Great coverage.
covering athletes, putting spotlights on athletes we normally never hear of, hearing their stories. We're going to attach ourselves to certain
I don't know what the
events
time-
or certain.
I don't know what the time difference is, but it's in South Korea, so
It's got
it's
to be
going
like
to be.
12, right? It's got to be almost the opposite.
Beijing was
I-
12 hours,
Yeah,
so
I think it's 12.
we'll see.
So it's got to be near
A
that.
lot of it on replay, I assume.
Yeah,
right?
before-
And if you recall correctly, the 2008 Olympics when Michael Phelps was breaking records,
Yeah,
they moved a lot of that stuff up to early in the morning
so we can
in
watch.
China, so that it
we
was
can
on in
watch.
prime time
Yeah.
here.
All right, before we dive into the highly anticipated power ranking this week, let's circle back to the top of the program. We skipped something, which I think is a good topic to talk about.
Settle this debate.
Let's settle this debate.
Okay, so this came up in the newsroom a couple weeks ago. Which local high school has the biggest cult following?
Do you want my initial gut reaction when I read this?
Yes.
But we all go around the room and we all say a high school we believe.
Fairport, once a Raider, always a Raider.
Honestly, just from seeing things now, I think Hilton has become one of the top schools in the area for following.
So let me make sure I read this question. Is it just high school? Okay, I'm going to go Aquinas because I think a lot of guys
Okay.
from Aquinas have that Aquinas pride.
Okay, so that was the first answer that people thought of when we were talking about this at work. But then I interjected. McQuaid.
What was Aquinas?
McQuaid.
They just spent a ton of money on that new science center that just opened
Yeah.
up. That looks pretty
And,
cool, by the
and
way.
they were like, you know what, Tyler? You're right. It is McQuaid.
Do you pay people just to follow you and say, you know what, Tyler,
Yeah,
you're
I
right?
I really want to know who this Sean Carroll guy really is.
One of Tyler's
It's Tyler's aliases on Facebook.
It's Tyler's alter ego.
Yeah.
No, Sean was not involved in this discussion. It was an early morning discussion at work.
Will you agree, though, Hilton's gotten a lot more coverage since we've been in school?
Yeah, but well, I'm saying the biggest cult following.
Yeah, you really don't think it's Aquinas? Like,
I
Yeah.
thought you meant like
not
to
like.
follow.
right.
the-
Oh, well,
all
yeah,
those
the
old
private
school
schools are going to be.
Italians who went to Aquinas, like they bleed for it, man.
No, then they're
But
private.
I'll tell you this. I went to Hilton played Aquinas in football a couple weeks ago. Hilton football and soccer had their seasons ended by private schools, by the way.
Yeah.
Hilton at Aquinas. I went there, and it was not as cultish as I thought it would be. It was the first time I'd ever attended a football game at Aquinas. And then when Hilton played McQuaid in soccer in the sectional final on Halloween night.
Were there more Hilton?
No. There were plenty of Hilton fans. There were plenty of McQuaid fans. The McQuaid fans were louder and more.
Really?
Oh yeah, because it's all a bunch of bros.
Oh, yeah.
All a bunch of buddies just up there hugging each other.
Exactly. When we played McQuaid in football, our senior
was
year
great.
10 years ago now. Rich Lapani had some good one-liners during the week talking
That
about
was
McQuaid. Like they're all going to
If
be
you
up in
guys
the
aren't
stands.
ready, go to Seb's right down the street. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But
Once we get done with McQuaid, they're all going to be up in the stands hugging their buddies. But it's just a bunch of like guys, cheering and hugging each other. And
Hey, Big Scott went to McQuaid for 2 years, so
so ask Big Scott
So the private
for his take.
private schools
I will.
outweigh
I mean,
Fairport.
he
Yeah.
went to Bishop Kearney. That's where he graduated from high school. But
I just say Fairport because anytime you go to a Fairport game, I don't think there's
Fairport is so
another
many
fan
kids.
base that has as much memorabilia. Like the parents wearing like their Fairport Letterman coat still.
But I think like the families who go to McQuaid, they tend to like cling to it like many people do for their colleges
Well, it's
once
because
they get older.
they're investing in it other than
Yeah.
their
'Cause
they're
taxes.
paying
So
for
they're
it
paying
like
for
college.
it. So
Like people in
paying
Fairport love
$30,000
Fairport
for
while
this
they're
college.
there, while their kids are there. But I think it kind of wears off a bit as they get older. Whereas if you go to McQuaid,
Yeah.
people kind of cling to it
sure.
longer.
I think Mike made a good point. I think Hilton is also starting to grow in the sense.
I think it's
that,
getting a ton of coverage in the local
a lot
media.
of coverage. Our teams are pretty good. I mean, the soccer
Yeah,
team
but it
was
doesn't
in the
have. I
sectional
wouldn't say it's a
final.
cult following by any means, though.
I couldn't tell
No, I
you.
guess I misunderstood what you're saying there. I mean, obviously the private schools are going to have.
So I'm voting for McQuaid. We'll pose this question on the 259 Show Facebook page during the week, so you can weigh in.
There you go.
And also, which brings up the next part is the whole idea of having a private school in sectionals. We have talked about this, correct?
I think we've dabbled
think-
here.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'll
This,
tell you
this
what,
comes
I don't
up
know-
every
I don't
every
know
year.
why
This-
private schools in Section 5 compete for sectional and state titles.
Because the New York State Public High School Athletic
Public
Association
high school athletic
is
association.
paid by us taxpayers, correct? I imagine that is
I would imagine.
funded
I would
somehow
imagine
through our
so.
school districts. Do we know if McQuaid and Aquinas must be paying some sort of
They
membership
probably have to pay a
dues, right?
fee to be part of
Oh,
that.
well, they can
like,
afford it, I'm sure.
system.
But if you go to Section 6 out in Buffalo, the private schools do not compete for sectional and state titles, and they don't neither in the New York City.
Now that's
Long
on
Island.
New York State though, because how are you allowing some private schools but not all private schools? How do you leave it?
I don't know
I
if it's
think
on
they
New York
would
State.
if they-
It sounds it might be more like a section issue, right? So
Yeah.
Section 6 has taken care of this issue. Section 5 has still left this issue up for private schools. If you want to compete with public schools, go for it.
I think if you ask any public school coach, they will tell you no. Don't include
That
it.
Yeah.
they shouldn't be included.
Yes. I don't think there's a single public school coach in any sport that is for McQuaid and Aquinas.
Well, I think obviously they would say that it would. I think a lot of them say they wouldn't care, that they want to beat him anyways. But
Right,
like
but-
if you asked Rich Lapani if you were like, should McQuaid be able to compete with Hilton and Fairport and Webster, he'd be like, frankly, I don't care. I just want to beat him. But
Well, right, you want to beat them regardless, but
But if it was up to Rich Lapani to make the decision, see a private schools. Like you have the deciding vote, they'd be out of here.
yeah, I mean, there's no problem with playing them in the regular season, but there's no way they should be competing for sectional and state titles. I mean, you can recruit from
What's it going to take?
every single school
Is it going to
district.
have to take McQuaid and Aquinas?
It's come up many
winning
times.
most state titles.
It's come up many times, and it's.
I think
been
I think
shot down
the
every
coaches
time
need to
here.
vote on this. I think the coaches need to come together and almost be like, look,
And
this
some
isn't fair,
some
right?
I don't
We-
know. I don't
we-
know all the politics behind it,
Some
but
athletic directors have done it. I know here in Hilton, very rare you'll see an Aquinas and McQuaid on a regular season schedule, and that's purposely.
here's one reason why it really bothers me lately. If you look at, especially in football, basketball, for whatever reason, the private schools compete. Whatever size they're in, they compete with the same schools of that size, except they can recruit from a wide base of school districts. But for some reason, Aquinas football just arbitrarily gets tossed into the highest class.
They did that in hockey a couple years ago too, where they said, "You know what? We're going to be Class B this year." They went down to play Class B hockey.
Because Aquinas,
Wait, is it Aquinas decides for themselves what class they want to be in, or is that
It has to be based on
Aquinas can decide.
enrollment.
They can choose to go up a class if they want, but in football and basketball, Section 5 has said you're playing in Class AA no matter what. My question
Well,
is
good because
no,
I think
but
that's
my
fair.
question is, where do you draw the line? How do you determine that a team is quote unquote too good to to be playing in the class that it should be in based on student enrollment? Where do you draw the
I
line?
think the fact that Aquinas was winning 4 out of 5 or 6 state titles in football
I think
would indicate that.
I
maybe
think
they
if
should
you
be
have
bumped
to
up a little
move a
bit.
team, they shouldn't belong in any sectional.
Exactly.
Oh, you're really good in Class C. Well, let's put you in Class O. That doesn't make any sense. No, you're really good. That means you're doing something wrong.
What they do for McQuaid is they double the enrollment so that
Includes
because it's just
girls.
because it's just single gender. I think they should double the enrollment for every private school, regardless of what class they're in.
I don't know. I think it's
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree that it is unfair, and I don't think there's a clear cut
Like
answer. Ty, 'cause they-
Bishop
they
County
come up
for
with it.
for football is in Class C,
something like that. Yeah,
which should not
they play
happen.
Holly and stuff like that.
Honestly, I think people who
Dundee.
the kids who aren't playing and the coaches really don't give a dang about this. To be honest, I know.
I think
like,
they
when,
can-
I-
I think
when-
they-
did you guys, when you guys played football, would you? I wanted to beat Aquinas.
Well, yeah, we wanted
to play these teams. I didn't care. I'd want to play McQuaid. I want
But if they were clearly the best team in the area year after year after year,
Yeah, I don't know how crazy I would have been about lining up with a dude who was going to get a full ride from Notre Dame, but
of course you want. I mean, of course you want to beat whoever you're playing. But
I don't know. I don't think.
there's, I mean,
it
I
would
think
bother
I
me
think
too
that the
much.
private schools, like they do in Buffalo, they should compete for their own title, and then they can go compete for the private school state
Yeah.
title.
All right,
I agree. That's I mean, that's
There could be
Are there
large
enough
private
private
school
schools
division and a
around
small
here?
private school division.
There are enough private schools in the Western New York area.
Weigh in on
to
our
do that.
Facebook page. What?
well
enough-
in Rochester. Let's think. I mean, there's
Around the
McQuaid,
state, I
Bishop
think.
Kearney,
'Cause
Aquinas.
they
Then we
play-
gotta deal with travel and
But they
it's not gonna be
already-
like a
they already
CG
played
or
them
like
anyway.
North Star.
Like Aquinas is independent football and plays teams
Yeah, but they
from
also
Buffalo,
play-
Syracuse. They play teams from out of state.
Don't they
in
play
football.
city schools too?
No.
Oh.
McQuaid does.
Oh, okay. I didn't want them to. I don't know. For me, really.
Ty, who's
as a
Notre
player,
Dame
it
got
wouldn't
today?
matter.
Notre Dame plays Wake Forest.
Oh, okay. Big W. That's easy. All right.
It's time for the 259 Show's weekly power ranking.
A lot of meat in this program. Let's
heavy
dive into our power rankings. This week's topic was my choice, and I chose the top 5 people you would want to narrate the documentary of your life. And then in our group discussion this week, I went a little bit further, saying they could be dead or alive to help select that for you. I'll choose the order. Let's move left to right or clockwise, starting with Mike. Mike, Joe, Tyler, then myself.
Okay. Number 5. Jerry Seinfeld.
Now, what's the deal
Yeah, what's
with
the
all the
deal?
pasta?
Why did Mikey do this? Hey.
I don't want to be a pirate.
Yeah, this is a weird list. Number 4, I went Frank Sinatra. I like his smooth voice, and he could also break into
love it.
he could break into song.
I like it.
Oh, Frank Sinatra's got that velvet.
He's
voice,
got
like-
that, yeah.
Oh, it's
Velvet,
just like.
Tunes the young kids will enjoy.
Obviously, I like his Italian
like
background, his
cat's
that
meow.
little New Jersey accent,
He's Italian.
a little smooth. I like it. Number 3 recently passed away, Jerry Lewis. He has a range of different voices. He could get into that Sinatra type cadence, and he's also got that quirky little high pitched. I think it'd give good range for the narration of my life in different situations.
Long-haired Mike gets the.
Yeah, yeah. Long hair and Mike could get a little quirky. Like, don't tell me that. Number 2, my favorite radio host, Mr. Dan Patrick. DP, deep voice. I dig it. And number 1, I think you guys, hopefully you know where I'm going with this. Little Sly Stallone, baby. Yo, it was a cold winter's day in January, and Mikey was coming through the birth
Shoveling
canal. Hey, yo, Lisa, good job on the baby. A little Sly Stallone action right there, and that's my list.
Joey, who do you got?
Sorry, I just had to make one quick change.
He had a-
So number 1, I'm gonna go with Stuart Scott. That man had a lot of.
Oh, he had a
lot of
good
little
one-liner.
names,
Booyah!
Good one-liners.
Joey with the touchdown. Booyah!
Joey does his homework. Booyah!
Joey got his master's degree. Chapow! Who is a voice that
Going reverse order.
Oh yeah, I just listed the top 5. So we'll say number 4. Barack Obama. That guy's got a silky voice, man. He's got a good way with words.
You'd really draw out this documentary trying to get his words out.
Joseph.
Yeah, no, listen,
He
I want
was
people.
a
Good
good
one.
man.
Joseph was a.
He did
he's
his
a good
homework.
man.
And
Played good football. Good tight end.
good man.
Played football. Free. This man would take care of the football part of my documentary. Is Marv Levy, legendary coach of the Buffalo Bills. Number 4, Paul Harvey. Just come on, man. Now you know
The rest of it.
the rest of Joe Pesci's story. And then number 5, who knows me better than the first man who slapped my butt, Big Scott Pesci, is going to go ahead and narrate the story of my life, because I need at least
The first
3
man.
or 4 dogs in every single sentence. So,
Tyler, your list.
Number 5, I'm going to start off with probably my favorite announcer of all time, Dick Enberg.
Okay.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Number 4, we're going with the legendary voice of NFL films, John Facenda.
Oh yeah.
The autumn wind is a pirate. The frozen tundra of Hilton, New York. Number 3, we're going to go with the man who preceded him as the voice of the NFL films, Harry Kalas, the voice of the Philadelphia Phillies for many years. Also called a lot of other sporting events. You know the voice if you've heard it. Number 2, I put this person on every top 5 list, Tim Allen. If you've heard his Pure Michigan commercials, they're very good.
Oh yeah, smooth.
And he'd throw in a good sound effect every now and then.
Yes, Tyler? Oh, you're looking at my computer, implying I press this button.
what's the button, Drew?
And number 1, who would tell Tyler Diedrich's life story better than Tyler Diedrich?
Oh, come on.
Oh my.
Stop. Get that out of here. No, Jay. Get that out of here.
Well, for one of the only times on the 259 show, all of our lists are unique, as in there's no duplicates. I don't have Tyler Diedrich on my list.
You should.
So number 5 on my list of the top 5 people I would like to narrate the documentary of my life. He does a lot of voice work for like National Geographic. Mike Rowe, who's got a good announcing or voiceover voice, and he's the people's people, Mike Rowe. Number 4, not the people's people, Tom Hanks.
Ooh, I like that.
And the
guy.
Forrest Gump voice. That's the Tom Hanks.
Andrew.
Like about
Andrew met his
He
fiance.
bought
Andrew
another
met his
fist
fiance,
at
Sam. And he was in love with Sam.
Have you seen my truck?
Have you seen my truck?
Number 3 on my list, probably my favorite news broadcaster, Tom Brokaw. And he still does radio.
Have you seen my truck?
Hey, Chloe, want to feel my muscles?
From time to time, he still does radio pieces.
Why'd you say Chloe? It's Sam.
That's from The Simpsons. There's
I know. I would have told you that.
yeah.
I'm the one who told you that.
Of course.
Number 2, Al Michaels.
Ooh,
Do you believe in miracles? Here's Drew Fowler.
The miracle of birth.
And number 1 on my list, I think the best voice out of them all, of our list, and that's my biased opinion, James Earl Jones. I think he could.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. Okay,
You know, I'm
so
surprised-
great list, Drew. I'm very surprised that we all
Yeah.
neglected Morgan,
Morgan
Freeman.
Freeman. Yeah.
I think we all
And
did
he was
that
on my
intentionally.
list.
Too
Because
cliche.
I think we thought everybody else would.
Yeah, I purposely left him
That's
off my
exactly
list.
it. You know, I thought everyone else was going to say Morgan Freeman, so I was like, get this dude off my list. But yeah, James Earl Jones, a good picture.
I also had Ian McKellen, the guy who played Magneto in the X-Men movies, Gandalf. And,
he was also Gandalf.
Gandalf.
How about what's his
I
name?
don't-
Alan Rickman from.
Yes.
Gandalf, Drew.
I don't watch.
Gandalf.
I don't watch those fairy tale movies. Joe
That's
Pesci.
Who's the guy that does the Dateline NBC?
Lord of the Rings, man.
Chris Hansen
Yeah,
or
I don't want Chris Hansen.
He
the life
might
of a-
fabricate a little bit about your life. talking about, and then Joe Pesci won the Super Bowl with the Buffalo Bills.
Or Keith Morrison
Oh,
from
Chris.
Dateline NBC.
Yeah, Keith Morrison.
Oh, then what happened?
That pesky DNA.
So,
Bill Hader would be funny.
What about some female voices? I was
Maya
thinking maybe
Angelou?
Barbara Walters. Oprah. Ellen can narrate your life if you want a quirky little
Joe, I gotta tell you,
Keith voice.
if Oprah narrated your life story, I would not watch.
He got a car. He got a car.
He got a truck. He got a truck.
and Joe didn't have his driver's license.
And Joe had not gotten his driver's license yet.
So that concludes our power rankings for this week at the end of the program.
I like to hear what other people.
What if
would have
Donald
to say.
J. Trump narrated your life story?
Drew was very, very, very,
He had
very hungry.
a very
Sad, really. Sad.
greatest life, the best life.
He had the best life. He had the best truck.
Very big truck. Huge truck.
It was a huge, magnificent
Big as
white truck. Did I say white truck? It's a white truck,
Nice
right?
white truck.
Anywho, let us know if we left any of your notable
Yeah, who do we miss?
narrators on our Facebook page.
Don Elhart.
Moving on, moving on to unpopular opinions. We have some opinions to share this week.
That are unpopular.
I'll go first. James Earl Jones, he's on my list. This past week it came out that he was going to be reprising his role as Mufasa on The Lion King in 2019. I think it's summer 2019 it's going to come out.
Yeah, I think that's
Beyonce and was it Bill Hader's on there too? No, I thought there was
No,
John
Beyonce,
Oliver. John
Donald
Oliver.
Glover.
So
I can't pronounce his name. Chikwe.
Yeah.
He was in 12 Years a Slave.
anywho,
Don Cheadle.
my unpopular
Don-
opinion
no,
this
I know.
Not Don Cheadle.
I know.
My unpopular opinion this week is when it comes out in June of 2019, I don't know if I'm going to see it. Or at least I don't know if I'm going to go to the theater to see it.
I don't care to see it. I prefer the animated
You
version,
serious?
thank you. Now,
Dude,
the wife has already said that we're going to see it, though. And she never says it about any movies, so...
I've enjoyed all the Disney movies they have redone into the stop motion, action, new technology stuff.
Live action.
Live action, that's what I call it. But I think the Lion King's a different story. It might be a little too touchy for me to want to go in public and maybe openly weep.
Should we all go
So-
together?
I don't like
Squeeze each
musicals,
other's hands.
particularly live musicals.
I've been fortunate to see Lion King and Broadway. And,
I would definitely
it's-
go see it in Broadway.
Right, but so I think maybe one of your concerns is it's going to be a little awkward with animals and humans and stuff like that, trying to make it live action. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
No, I'm afraid of my own sake of I'll cry watching it.
Oh,
Not manly.
Yeah, man, just
But
rent
maybe
it.
Sam wants to
I'll
see that vulnerable side of you, Drew. You need to open
I don't
up.
think I'm going to go see
She
it.
should have
this
started
year
cutting
because I don't
onions
wanna-
this past
I don't want to spend the money, but I think I'm definitely going to watch it.
Did you just
I think
suggest that
it'll
there are going to be live animals
well
in,
done.
in the show, Joe?
Lions
be- No. What I'm saying is, so the way that the Broadway Lion King version is they're dressed up like animals, right? So, in this live action version of the Lion King, I'm just curious, what is it going to look like? Is it going to be like Beyonce with a lion hat on, or
I
is
don't
it going
think.
to be?
I think they're all voice actors. I don't think.
Is it going to be all voice acting?
No, it's live action.
I'm just making. I don't know.
It's probably going to look like the musical.
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. I think Tyler. I think that's what it's going to be because it
get
would
on
make
this.
sense. So Tim, who's the first actor for Simba? Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Is that what his name was?
GTT.
Yeah. So you obviously can't have him as Simba because he's a pasty little white kid.
But you're gonna have 98-year-old James Earl Jones being in this movie.
Mufasa. Yeah, sure. I mean, he's an elder.
I don't think it's gonna have any people in it. That's my understanding. It's just gonna be reanimated.
No, it's
Well,
not. No, it's not
actually,
animated.
the
It's live
Jungle Book-
action.
Jungle Book also was CGI and humans involved. So there's not going to be any humans because this is
There's
the
been
safari.
a run on the live action musicals on TV. They're doing A Christmas Story on Fox, I believe, this year. That's what this is going to be for The Lion King. Except not, it's not going to air live. It's going to be,
I need
I don't know.
to
That's a
watch
good
the
question.
original
Though.
movie again.
What
I
is
haven't
what is it
watched
going to
that in a
look
while.
like? I think it's going to be good, but what is it going to be?
I don't really
Set up.
care to see it. Everyone's just going to be fawning over Beyonce anyway.
Well, I mean,
Who's
Kenny
overrated,
Wayne,
by the way? That's my other unpopular opinion.
For her first movie since Austin
think
Powers
she's
and
great.
Goldmember.
She's got a great voice. She's a terrible actress. I mean, I don't know what she was awful, but she's got a great voice. I mean,
I liked her in Austin Powers.
Yeah, and then she
Foxy
and then
Cleopatra.
then she hit it big after that.
Yeah. Anywho.
yeah. So
Unpopular opinion.
my unpopular opinion, and when Tyler, when you read this, I thought you were going to, get your retort ready, but you would actually agree with this. So I've seen a lot of people starting to celebrate Christmas early. I've also seen a lot of people who get very upset when somebody else starts to celebrate Christmas early. My unpopular opinion, and it's probably popular, is who cares, right? If that is what makes them happy, right? If listening to Christmas music is what makes Tyler Diedrich happy, why do you care? Why do you have to, get offended, right? Would you rather him be happy or upset, right? So my unpopular
I'm
opinion
sad
is
'cause he
people who
can't-
get upset about people getting excited for Christmas just, hose off.
Isn't that about everything in
off.
life, Joe? People get upset
Yeah, it's just like
regarding
it's
whatever,
I think
whatever
people
people
look
do.
for something to
pissed
complain
at.
about.
Yeah.
Joe.
So it's like this man is happy Christmas is back. Let him be happy.
Joe, I want to tell
he's
you
got a month
something.
and a half to be happy.
You know what,
And then
Joe?
he's going to be sad for 10 months.
Joe,
Yes.
you can say Merry Christmas to me. It's okay.
Yeah, you know what? I think I might. And if I'm wrong, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, then correct me, and I will wish you a happy whatever it is you celebrate. I will take the L on that one and wish you a happy Hanukkah.
Unpopular opinion for me. I like Thursday Night Football.
Oh, boo.
Hey.
That's why we call it unpopular opinions.
It's good to have something to watch
Dude.
on Thursday night. Because I found myself before saying, why don't we play more NFL games on other nights of the week? Like, people will watch them if you do them, but obviously the NFL hasn't been happy with its ratings on Thursday Night Football, I don't think.
I like this. Was it 2 years ago they did a Saturday night game?
I like that.
I like the Saturday night.
Because they
game.
usually do them at the end of the year after college football regular season is over. They did that for years, and then they kind of got rid of it for a while, and now it's back.
It must be because the networks and their contracts with college football. I don't know why they wouldn't do it.
I don't know, but I like it. 'cause
Seems
they-
like a win-win.
They for years they had 2 games on Saturday afternoons for the last 2 or 3 weeks of the regular season because they do it for the playoffs. They have Saturday games.
Yeah.
The last few years they've kind of brought it back because it went away for a while.
And chances of me staying up to watch a full Saturday night game are 10 times greater than
Yes.
watching a full Thursday
Yes.
night game.
Well, I'd like if they limit the number of Thursday night
Yeah, I don't think
games
we'd want
more
every single
sporadic, and then put teams on who are coming off the bye.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be because the quality is not great? The Bills or any team
Yeah.
that plays like last week.
Yeah, so
they get
only do,
2 days of rest.
or even if you only do Thursday night games during the bye season. So not as sporadic.
Yeah, so you could do it.
Sporadic.
You could do it for the season opener, and then you could do it. Once the buys start.
The
back up.
week
Yeah,
after
that's
the
what
bye.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So yeah, I think there's
I don't
definitely
think it'll change.
there's definitely a place for Thursday night football, and I think the NFL was trying to make it fair by giving every team a Thursday night game throughout the year. So there's one short week for everyone throughout the year. But I think it would be a good idea to just do it off the bye, like Mike suggested. And I will say this: the underrated part about Thursday night football is, as a fan, going to a Thursday night football game because I've been to 4 in my life, and they're fun. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
Prime
No, it
time
was a
game.
good time. Don't get me wrong. Going to the game on Thursday, I had something to look forward to all day at work. You know what I mean? Like, all the kids knew I was going to the game, so
So your
was wearing my
Bills
Bills
ties.
stuff.
It's like an early start to your weekend because usually if it's a Sunday or Monday night game, it's like the end of your weekend,
Yeah,
or you're going
Thursday
back,
night, and
you're
if your
already
team
back.
wins, Friday at work's great.
Yeah,
The only thing I like about Thursday night football is for teams like the Bills who don't play primetime games, it's nice to get the Jim Nantz and Tony Romo,
Yeah.
and Tracy Wolf.
Wolfson.
Not Tracy, not
Sure.
yeah, Tracy. To get that because the Bills don't. They come to Buffalo they have a Bills game once every 2 years or so, just so to get those people in. And Tony, we go back to a conversation a couple weeks ago. I enjoy what Tony Romo was doing in the booth, and that was fun. As bad as the Bills played, it was entertaining to listen to. So
yeah. I've been to 2 Thursday night games in Buffalo, one in Minnesota, one in Miami, and fun time in all of them.
Mike, do you have any
what Thursday night games? Bills versus Dolphins, and who else?
Bills Jets?
Bills Jets last year,
season opener.
home opener.
Home opener,
Lost
that's
for
right.
the Bills.
Yes. Mike, do you have an unpopular opinion? You wanna
No,
pass on?
only popular this
Um,
week.
You're only popular. We conclude each
Like,
program.
it's so popular.
I know.
We conclude each program,
Just try to
or
keep the
start the
people
conclusion
happy.
of each program with our airtime segments, where we go around the table and get off of, blow off some steam.
You got a lot of steam to blow off. I can see
Release
it.
the steam, Drew.
I was fuming.
Release it, Drew.
Monday,
You wanna go
Tuesday,
first, Drew?
Wednesday.
You were hot about this. You even
Yes.
prefaced. You let us know that you were
It had to stay for the
You're
show.
going to be steamrolling through airtime.
But you know what? It's been resolved since then. So,
So you're not as hot.
so
Try
it's,
to
it's less hot. But
channel that energy, that anger again.
So last year was my first year being a season ticket holder of the Buffalo Bills. So I, about 5 to 6 weeks in, they emailed me last year, and the subject line was "Pay as we play." And the preference of this is if we make the playoffs, as soon as we announce we're having a home game, we charge your credit card, you get your seats. And it's a win-win. It's nothing up front. You agree to it, and you get your seats throughout the playoffs at a discounted rate.
Sure.
So driving home from New Era Field on Sunday, I'm thinking to myself, I haven't seen this email yet this year. And it's later in the season. And
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. We just lost Tyler Diedrich. So I called. Are you okay?
I was going to put it in the fridge because it's warm.
Oh, that's
there's
fine.
no fridge there.
It's going to be thrown out after the program, anyways. Tyler's referring to the cider that's been sitting
From
out.
a Green Acre farm.
Anywho, I haven't received an email to sign up for Pay As You Play, so I emailed my sales rep and said, "Hey, haven't seen this email yet. Did I miss it? Did it not come?" They said, "Oh, this year it was on the bottom half of your invoice slip that we mailed back to you in August." And I'm like, "Well, am I too late to this?" They said, "Yes." So in the event that the Bills made the playoffs and had hosted a home game, which is a stretch, especially since they lost Thursday night, I wouldn't be guaranteed my seats. I'm a season ticket holder. I was fuming because last year it was this. We didn't get an email this year. I don't even remember seeing it on an invoice last year. So I spoke. My sales rep got saucy with me.
Ooh. You don't like
I went to
Not up in here.
not here, right? I went to her supervisor. Her supervisor.
You had that haircut. That that meme is. May I speak to a supervisor, please?
Yes. And then after I spoke to her supervisor, who he started getting saucy with me, I said, "I want to hear from your supervisor." I went up.
You called Terry Pagula?
I think I was two rungs of the ladder away from the Pagula family. But the guy said, "Yeah, there shouldn't be any problem. It's an NFL program," so he had to contact the NFL on my behalf. And the NFL said, "Sure." I mean, it was a no-brainer.
Adele had to sign off.
Because as soon as they announce a home game, those 2 seats are sold, like, instantly. Like, that's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you want to sell seats that quick?
Yeah. Good for you.
So it was resolved. If the Bills host a playoff game,
You're there.
I'm there.
So you played a little hardball with the Bills in the NFL.
Yes. Hardball.
And you won.
And I won.
You're like Zeke
Proud of you,
Elliott.
Drew.
Oh, I also want to talk about that. I am angry that every other day it's something new.
It's ridiculous.
Figure it out. How does one court say this, then they go to the next court and it says opposite, and then they go up one more court and they go back to it's like,
Supreme Court's going to be hearing this case soon.
and by then he'll be retired. Like,
I don't know.
it's got to be a distraction for the team. And
His workload. Have you seen what his workload has been the last few weeks since
Yeah.
he's been getting suspended and reinstated? They're just feeding him the ball like crazy. So,
if you just flat out served, was it 6 games to start the season? I don't think they would have lost or won any other games that they lost or won.
Well, and at this point, he's going to be suspended for
Postseason
3
play.
games leading up to the playoffs, and then he's going to be suspended for the playoffs.
Yeah. So that between Ezekiel Elliott and Leticia Stasio, and they're in and out of suspension and jail and whatnot, I can't deal with news. Sean
I
Carroll.
can't even.
Can't even. That's my airtime
Which
for
leads
this
me
week.
up to my airtime. Bills Mafia. So here's the deal. I am all for being very proud to be a fan of your team, right? I feel like I'm one of the biggest fans there is out there. I love the Bills, but this has gotten like dangerous. And it's gotten too much. So I was at the game on Thursday, and Bills Mafia likes to do a thing where they power bomb someone through a table. At first, it was kind of funny, right?
Usually
you
a
would be RKOing. Yeah, well, at first it was like kind of just like a husky dude you throw through a table, whatever. But this guy was power bombed through a table, and he hit his head on the concrete. And so there was like 5 ambulances there. It was like his head was like split open, right? It was like blood everywhere. I didn't see it, but I heard about it. But like it's like that's embarrassing for the first part, right? You know, our team is like on this national stage, and the only thing we're known for is people getting power bombed through flaming tables. But it makes you look bad. It's like, is there nothing else to do other than get completely annihilated and hurt each other? So yeah, like Bills Mafia is fun. It's cool. It's like the players acknowledge it. They're like, dude, I'm playing for the Bills Mafia. You know, I love those guys. But at the same time, it's like, all right, this is embarrassing. It makes me like ashamed.
Who would have thought that would be a bad idea?
So like I said, it's a fun idea, Bills Mafia, like being together, making shirts for it, whatever. But you know, these idiots are they're not real Bills fans, right? They're too drunk to go to the game to even appreciate what's happening on the field.
I'm with you, Joe. I think it's become more of even like a publicity stunt because every week, because I follow Barstool Sports, there's a Bills Mafia video every Monday morning.
People light
and
themselves
like I said,
fire.
These guys don't even watch the game. Like I consider myself a bigger fan than them, not because I'm sending myself through tables. I actually know a thing or two about the Bills. You know,
yeah. A lot of people just go to the games. They get trash
and they just stay out.
Also, if you recall the Dolphins-Bills Thursday night game 5 years ago, 2 people died. Leaving the game.
It's a football. This is a football game. It means absolutely nothing, right? And people are dying. So,
because one guy was drunk and like fell into a creek, and another guy got hit by a car. I don't know if he was drunk, but
I can see how that happens there too. A lot of drunk people.
And it's also like even when we went to the Bills game, I think it was in 2012, the Thursday night Bills game.
That's when I was talking
And we were
about.
just sitting there, and Tyler had his Dolphins gear on. And Tyler's the least combative person I know, and some guy is like screaming at him. It's like, man, like, we're sitting here trying to watch a football game, and you are screaming at a Dolphins fan because you are hammered and have nothing else to do.
Yeah,
that game was.
I don't know.
That was a pretty nuts atmosphere that night, if you guys recall.
It was annoying. Like, it was stupid. I felt bad to be a Bills fan, and I felt bad for you, man, because you were just trying to enjoy a game. So
you know what you're getting
into.
That's
my hot take. That's my airtime.
Airtime, Mike, Tyler.
I got a few quick things that I want to hit on. Jay Ajayi, gone. Traded to the Eagles this week, which was a surprise move, I guess.
As a Bills fan, I'm glad we're not seeing him twice.
I know. And that's why. He made it for a very memorable... We will always have that one glorious Christmas Eve day in Buffalo last year.
Yeah.
2 200-yard games last year against the Bills. He had 4 on the whole season, I believe. Jeff got a new mower. Rest in peace, mower. He had the mower for 12 years, and he just got a new one.
I heard about that.
So it was a little emotional for him.
Was it?
Yeah.
The proper burial services.
He sold it to a guy from work.
Oh, parts.
So we got a new zero-turn mower. That thing was a sight to behold when he first got it.
Did you get it on camera?
New mower?
He's got it. I didn't get it on camera. No.
Oh, no.
Josh Adams for Heisman, please. Thank you.
He's having a heck of a year.
Yeah, he's good. And a congrats to my man Trevor Bain, coming home 6th last week at Martinsville.
TB.
Has he won a race yet?
Not since the 2011 Daytona 500, in his second career start.
Season's still.
Yeah,
like
there's 3 races left this year.
And then the Chase.
No, Chase is already underway. Chase is the last 10
Who's
race
winning?
of the year. Martin Truex Jr.
Oh, nice.
Points leader.
Good. Not Jimmy Johnson.
No.
Nice. Cool.
Michael.
All right. I spent the weekend in Buffalo. I went up last Saturday and went for the Bills game Sunday. And I realized something. Buffalonians aren't hot about garbage plates. Still aren't hot about garbage plates. We were talking about them in one of our Uber rides, and our driver, who's born and raised in Buffalo. When we started talking about it, he goes, yuck, about the garbage plate. Like, seriously, dude?
Did you give him a hard time?
They're nasty. Yeah, we laid into him a little bit. And then we go, Drewman, he was making tailgate plates, and we go to Wegmans. He goes, can you get some mac salad? So I go, and I'm figuring, like, oh, it's Sunday. There's going to be a ton of mac salad available. We go to the prepared foods, all that, like Wegmans brand, a nice tub of mac salad. They didn't have anything available. Wouldn't you think that the mac salad would be around there for a Bills
Which
game
Wegmans?
Sunday morning on Maple Street in Amherst? There's a ton of Bills fans in there buying stuff for the game, and I had to opt for some kosher grandma's recipe mac salad, which was okay, but I don't know. I don't. Buffalo still isn't like the garbage.
Get
plate,
together. You got good food in Buffalo, but
Good
you gotta
food.
appreciate the
They
garbage
don't appreciate us. We're still like the little.
I think they
the
probably
kid-
think that their food
We're
is
the
a little bit
little
better
brother.
than
We're
we
the
have
kid
beef
brother.
and chicken wings.
Yeah,
Rochester's only got this garbage plate business,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
So that's my take.
What's on deck next week? It's voting week. Get out there, vote Tuesday.
What are we voting for this year, Drew?
I'm voting no. I don't know if you saw the sign in my front yard. I'm voting no.
for
Proposition 1. on
which
the back.
is
Constitutional Convention.
Wait,
For the school. Wait, Drew, you're voting for the school thing?
No. I'm voting no for State Constitutional Convention.
Right, because it has there's school implications on that as well, right? For the union.
That and state employees. I don't want my pension
Okay.
money going to infrastructure like bridge. Because
Save the money.
Save the money. And if you really need to make change through a constitutional convention, you can do that through making amendments to the Constitution. You don't really need a convention where local politicians make millions of dollars talking about nothing.
the only thing I know about. I was aware of that. I don't really know what it means. I know we're voting for a new sheriff, or to keep our current sheriff.
That's the biggest race in Monroe County.
Yeah.
Patrick O'Flynn, who's been there for like 20 years, versus Todd Bagster, who recently...
Who is a Republican but is running as a Democrat.
Yes. Who's recently done like Veterans Outreach Center. He was the Grease police officer for a while.
Grease Police Chief.
Chief, sorry. So that'll be an interesting take. I haven't made my decision there.
I think we might have a new sheriff, but we'll see. You
New
never
sheriff
know.
in town. The one thing Baxter does have a commercial, and I'll keep this brief because we don't talk about politics on the show. About why is this man dancing? Have you seen this commercial?
Yes.
It's Patrick O'Flynn dancing at a parade.
Yes.
Because he's in line for $18,000 raise or whatever. Now his salary with his raise that he's supposed to get is only $168,000. Leticia Estacio makes $174,000 and doesn't even go to work. I think a county sheriff deserves to make $168,000.
Maybe you have noticed this, but do you remember seeing Sheriff Patrick O'Flynn on TV at all before this?
No, he does a good job staying away.
Until now, and now he's trying to get in front of the camera
Yes.
as often as he can.
I do notice that. But Todd Baxter's the same way.
He's on camera a lot, but people really like him.
They do. It'll be interesting to see how that takes. But the
We're
conservative
well,
line...
we're not voting for a mayor, but the city of Rochester is, although I think the real race for that was the Democratic primary, so we
And I
pretty much
think
know what's going to happen.
with Monroe County elections, the conservative line will win out. However, there's not really that many contested elections in the suburbs. I think Greece has one. Gates is not. There's no contested local elections in Gates this year. Parma's the same way.
is 259.
We're voting for a
does
village
politics.
board here in Hilton, aren't we?
We'll see about that. That's coming up in March. Is the election.
No, I thought there was. Oh, that's right. I thought there was something we were voting for here, but
No.
I
Uncontested
may be
town.
misremembering something.
Yeah, it was uncontested town elections here. We'll go around the table, wrap it up with what did we learn today. Mike, what did you learn today, buddy?
Truman,
I always forget about this part.
Truman, you're going to be throwing off the entire dynamic of our neighborhood here, our fine neighborhood, by putting up your Christmas lights early. I hope you don't catch some flack for that, Drew.
No flack.
I know. What, I think we should change this segment so that it's just Mike talking about what he learned from everyone else, because he usually puts
No,
the
I
most
got
thought
something.
into it.
Joe, what did you think? What did you learn today?
Well, I learned from myself that the new Lion King will actually have real humans interacting with real animals on screen.
The Scenic Park Zoo.
Human lion versus real lion.
Human lion and Beyonce are going. Beyonce's going to ride a lion. That's what we got.
Tyler, what did you learn today?
She's gonna ride a lion.
That's what you learned today?
It's the,
What?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Hi-yo!
And Mike, what did I learn?
No, that wasn't
Oh,
mine.
that wasn't
No.
it? What did you learn today, Tyler?
Well, I learned that the Raiders fans are coming out of the woodwork now. Although maybe not anymore because they just lost to the Bills, so they're like, what, 3-5 now? The other thing I learned today is something that I taught you, that the Dolphins are the second most popular
like
NFL
kids.
team in Western New York, according to my Facebook.
And Mike, what
friends.
did I learn today?
Truman, you're in a new length competition with Joe. And I'm talking about beards. You guys
Oh,
Wait, next
Yeah,
week.
Truman, you're totally off. It's
Hey,
off today.
you jumped the gun there.
Power
We're going to talk
rankings,
about
dude.
next week's power
On
rankings.
deck. What's on deck next week, man?
Oh, power rankings. What do you got, Michael, next week? Sorry, jumped the gun here.
Top 5 favorite breakfast items.
I like
You
it.
could go
Food.
drink,
Oh, baby.
Danish. You could throw drink in there.
Schmeg.
Pastry.
Sticky sauce.
Foods, whatever you
I'm
want,
in.
whatever your heart desires. What do you eat for breakfast?
I'm in. Breakfast food.
That would have been a good one for today.
Maybe cold.
Are we going live
pizza.
again next week? Next Saturday, live again?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Thank you for tuning in
It's
to
a
the
long
259 show.
I don't mind going live. I kind of like this morning thing.
I'm off to go get my tuxedos for the wedding.
Oh!
We'll talk to you soon next week. Thank you for listening to us live.
I love you, Hilton. Love you, Hilton. Drew, you're gonna.